Just started. We don't need that yet. Kelly is your mobile app that will, it's not your mobile app, it is an app that is like your mobile office. I would say don't think about Kelly or Command right now. I want y'all to learn some more foundational stuff, and that's kind of like the future. So I know we had you download Kelly onto your phone, but not quite
it's
ready.
growing every day.
Growing every day.
That's the end.
Yeah, but it's coming back to me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Eddie Levin is my friend. We used to be neighbors, office neighbors.
Huge.
Yes.
She wanted a private office.
No. I got a promotion. So you're gonna tell them you and Sam and we sell ATL.
All of that.
Gosh, y'all are gonna have fun, and you're gonna learn so much, and hopefully be very encouraged about all the ways you're gonna find business, do business.
And if you're not encouraged, just lie on the report anyways, just so.
Yeah.
So Stacy doesn't beat me with the
wet noodle.
So my name again is Eddie Levin, and so everybody.
Coincidentally married to.
I'm also Sherry Levin, who is with Certainty out front, with Certainty Mortgage. She can answer all your questions. The whole staff of it is great. Is everybody brand new to real estate, not just Keller Williams? Has anybody been an agent with another company? So everybody's brand new. Good. That means it's a clean slate.
That's right.
That's good. Right. So I joined Keller Williams a year ago in March. I came from a small boutique realtor. We did a lot of property management and sales. And I cut my teeth in the rental and property management side of it. And if you ever want to hear horror stories or see pictures, we can do that on another day. But I learned a lot, and then I was doing sales also, and then transitioned over to Keller Williams, and it's been great. I've been excited to be here. I have a team. I have Sam Klein, who works with me, and Bjorn Cateau also has joined my team. So the three of us, Sam's been a real estate agent now for a little over a year, I think. So anytime you have a question, my office is, if you walk through the bullpen, straight at the other end. The door's always open. Feel free to come in, ask any questions. If I don't have the answer, I'll help you find who to go to. This class, it's my first time teaching this class, so please bear with me. We got a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of questions from this class are on the test. So I want to make sure that I spend some time at the end in reviewing. And again, this class has got to be a give and take, or we'll be all asleep soon. So that being said, real quickly, so I just kind of want to figure out what fields either you're still working in, or if you've made the jump and this is full time. Just tell me where you're coming from, how long you've been here, and so forth. So is it Tia?
Yes.
Tia.
My name is Tia Fields, and I currently work for Coca-Cola.
Okay.
So I'll be doing both for a while.
What do you do with Coke?
I'm a freestyle project specialist.
Okay.
So I assist sales with, in their paperwork and things of that nature.
Good. And what part of town do you live in?
I live in Austell.
So that's where the area you're from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Travis?
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Smyrna, actually. We're pretty close, and I'm going to be doing this full time. I'm coming from another business that I built with my fiance over the past 10 years or so, doing personal chef stuff. So we would go and cook for people in their homes and do that kind of thing.
Oh, nice. So you brought us all lunch. Karen?
I come from 20 plus years in the remodeling kitchen and bath industry, and then as a home consultant as well. And I'm still doing some of that. That's my love. That's my first love, and I'm trying to figure out how to marry the two together, how I can do both.
Okay, so you have a lot of the contacts from the remodeling, so there's a database that not thinking of maybe and how to bring it in, and
I know people from all over.
Right. So
yeah.
yeah. In what part of town are you concentrating?
Brookhaven.
Oh, you're in Brookhaven. Okay. Helen.
Yes, my name is Helen, and I own my own business. So this will be my side job.
Okay. And what is the business?
I have a product brokerage and online marketing.
Online marketing. Okay. Lisa.
I have a excuse me. I have a background in education. However, I left that behind. And over the last 7 years, I've gotten into rental properties, and I've got a few of those, and that's how I sustain myself.
Oh, good.
Rental income.
Great. If you can stomach it, it's a great business. And is it Selena?
Yes, Selena.
Yes.
I have a couple of other businesses, all relatively new, so I decided that I'm going to invest most of my energy in real estate until I get that really going, and the other ones will be on the back burner.
Okay. All right. So again, it's finding your business, and we all have different ways of how we're going to find our business through prospecting. But every day we're selling ourselves. So that's what we have to do. We have to remind everybody what we do, who we are, and so forth. So we're going to find the business, talk about prospecting. Hopefully, if we have time, maybe do a little script and role playing, because I don't know if everybody here likes the phone or not. Who likes picking up the phone and calling? Nobody. Who likes face to face? It's always easier. I'm 100% face to face. I love it. I hate picking up the phone, but I do it. I just got done taking Bold. I don't know if y'all have heard about Bold yet. Yeah. Once you get your feet wet, it is a class. It's a mind-setting class, and I learned a lot. Things to rebuild my business and to grow it, and it was a great class. But the one thing that in Bold is everybody has a drunk monkey on their shoulder, right? Mine was always picking up the phone. I can talk all day long face to face, whether I know you or not. I can walk into a Starbucks and talk. I can pick up the phone and just shut up, clam up, for some reason. Bold helped, but that's one of the things we all have to get over, is because that's where our business is. If you were in the team meeting on Tuesday, they talked about it. Brad talks about it a lot. Terry talks about it a lot. We'll talk about connecting with clients. Travis says he's keeping his separate. I understand, from what he's saying, because it's a whole different industry. He doesn't necessarily want to bombard them. Farming, church, school. There's lots of places that you don't think about where it can come from and how to go about it. And hopefully we'll hit on some highlights. And again, ask me any questions, and we'll do that. So, kind of getting into it, have y'all gone over scripts at all?
First
Have y'all? So y'all are a little bit. So right now, you're trying to add to your database, right? You're farming an area. Travis, you're calling people that you feel comfortable calling. Karen, you said you had 3,000. You're trying to figure out. So what are we saying when we pick up the phone? What's that issue when you pick up the phone? You hadn't talked to someone you played tennis with 4 years ago. Does anybody have like that? Like you're looking through your database and you're like, oh, I knew Eddie. We played mixed doubles 4 years ago. I haven't talked to him. I need to call him. Has anybody thought about that?
Yeah. Well, I didn't call, but I sent out a message through Facebook Messenger, and
right.
It was, just saying hi, how are you doing, and that I'm starting a new business, and I just need to add you to my database, to help me grow. And a lot of people gave me their information that I've never had before in my life. So
that's awesome. So, so you use Facebook so far?
Yes.
Has anybody sent out a letter to their database, excited about? Hey, I'm with Keller Williams. I'm excited about starting this new venture. I'm with the Rawls Group, and y'all know the difference between the Rawls Group and the other Keller Williams agents, correct? Franchises, right? Mm-hmm. We're number one. I mean, if you look at the Atlanta Business Chronicle, we did $1.1 billion. So, everybody at one time or another is a new agent, right? Every agent is a new agent on every deal if they don't know the person, because you have to resell yourself. So one of the things that I do when I pick up the phone lately is I'm calling people in my database I haven't talked to 5 years, 10 years. I've sent them emails, I sent introductory letters, all different things. So they know my name, right? But I haven't stayed in touch. That was kind of bad on me, right? We all go through that phase. I've been picking up the phone. I've been like, hey, Travis, it's Eddie. I hope you're doing well. Listen, can I just have 2 minutes of your time? I just want to tell you about this exciting new thing. I've been with Keller Williams now for a year. As you know, I was with another brokerage before that. But let me just kind of tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. I joined Keller Williams because of their training, their staff, and their background to support me so I can support you and your friends. By the way, do you know of anybody interested in buying or selling real estate? And then I shut up.
Can you write that down? No.
You actually have the very similar script in your notebook.
Okay.
And then of course, what's the response? No, right? Everybody is like, no, I can't think of anybody. Hey Travis, I really appreciate your time. If you could think of anybody that might be interested in buying and selling real estate, would you give me their contacts? I'd love to talk to them. Is it okay maybe if I follow up with you on Wednesday just to see if you thought of anybody? How does 3 o'clock sound? And that's it. And if they say, yes, that'll be great, no, hey, I appreciate it. I hope you've been getting my, you'll be seeing my emails and my letters if you have any questions. And it's just that quick of a conversation. And what I found my big stickler was, Karen, pretend like you're calling me. Ring, ring.
Hello. Good morning. This is Karen Johnston. It's been a long time since we've talked. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Just wanted to. Do you want me to just go here with what I would?
Just
what I would
say.
probably. I'd probably go. Hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm going through some of my contacts and I'm cleaning up my database. Or I'm cleaning up my phone, and I came across your name, and I wanted to let you know what I've been doing for the last 3 years. And I just finished with the Keller Williams training. I'm a new agent. One of you might happen to know anybody that is thinking about buying or selling a home.
I don't know. So Karen, how are the kids?
Oh, my kids are great. They're grown. Got a couple of grandkids. How about you?
Oh, man, my kids are in college. That's where I was getting lost. I was taking a 10-minute phone call and it was turning into a 30, a 40, a 50-minute phone call. Cut it at the source. We're there for business. If it starts getting into that, what I'm saying is, hey Karen, it is great. I know you're busy. I'm busy. How about if we talk Thursday at 4 o'clock and we catch up? And the reason being is, and this is for me, now it may work differently for you, but for me, I looked down and I'm like, I set aside 3 hours for prospecting. I talked to 4 people because I told them about my kids, my wife, their kids, the tennis game. Can't do it. Gotta get quicker and to the point as you're building your database. I'm not saying you shut them off, but this is a business call. And if they start and they want to go talk about everything else, it's okay to say, look, hey Karen, I appreciate it. I don't want to take all your time. How about if we schedule coffee or whatever? Then do the coffee and then you'll build it. If they're in the business world, they're going to appreciate it because they want to move on. And if they're your friend, you're adding that extra touch. It may work for you, it may not, but as you're calling your 100 people in your database and you're trying to rekindle, remember it's business. You want to tell them about it, but you don't want to spend 30 minutes on it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that it takes, you could get into a phone call that takes 30 minutes, but do you try to set up an appointment with every single person that you talk to? Because it seems like coffee and driving somewhere would take even more time. Who do you decide who you're going to go spend time?
Who I get a feel for. Okay. Yes, everybody. If in a perfect world, I would love to sit and just meet with everybody face-to-face. For me, that works better. But you can kind of get a feel on the phone. If it's somebody you haven't talked to in a while and you see they're all talking about kids and all of a sudden they hear, oh yeah, my daughter's graduating from college, or, you know, both my kids are, you know, that's really, hey, why don't we get together, you know, and meet for coffee? Because if their kids are away at school, what do they think, maybe thinking about?
Downsizing.
Right. Or kids graduated from college, you know, what are they looking for? Right. Or maybe they're looking, now their kids at college are out, maybe they're looking for a second home. Maybe they're looking for a house up in Rome, you know, or Ellijay or what. So somebody like that, yeah. Now, if it was somebody that said, you know, Eddie, I'm doing good, you know, I hope everything's well, and you can kind of get that feel when you talk to people and they're just kind of asking questions to ask questions. I maybe put them on my ticker and I may not. It depends on what the keywords I pick up from them. You know, and one of the things you can, if it's somebody, you know, they start talking about their aunt. Remember, one of the great things about Keller Williams is what? You can help sell a property anywhere in the country, right? So it may be, you know, we're not looking, but our best friend's husband just got transferred. Really, I can help them. You can help them in Birmingham, Alabama? I absolutely can. Because what you do is then and it's a whole nother class, you'll get into it, but you can help vet that and you get a commission, a referral fee. It's a great way to get more income and you're helping your friend because you're taking interest. But I try to, my goal every day when I'm on the phone is to set 2 appointments, at least 2 appointments a day. Because that's, for me, works better. That's how I get to meet people. So we'll go back as we have time, because I want to make sure I cover a lot, because there's a lot in this thing. We'll go back and go over scripts. Because scripts. I used to, when I first came to Keller Williams, all I heard about was scripts, right? Everything and you think, I don't want to learn a script. I don't want to sound like a script. I don't want to do this. But once you get over that, it really flows well. I mean, if you think about it, who goes to Chick-fil-A? Who here has not been to Chick-fil-A? And what is their script? What do they say?
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Every time, right? Doesn't matter who it is. My pleasure. That's their script. Thank you for shopping. It's been a while since I've been in Nordstrom's, but Nordstrom's they all had a script. When I worked for Parisians, my associates had a script. We don't think about it. Script sometimes makes it hard, but if you learn the scripts and make them and use them like their word, and, you know, tweak them a little bit for you, it'll help grow your business. And we'll come back, and as I said, I want to come back to making sure. One of the great ways, all of y'all, as y'all grow your business, is handwritten notes. Birthday cards, note card, just whatever. Thank you, how are you? I have the worst handwriting in the world. So I use send-out cards. Now, it's not as personable, but you can read it. And this is my sample because I sent it to myself to make sure and see how it looked. So this was our New Year card, and we put our picture on it. Trust me, I know these things. Happy New Year, wishing you happy. Boom. Send out a birthday card, anniversary card, whatever you know about that client. It's just another great touch. If you have nice handwriting, write the notes. I still write notes. It just takes me a long time, especially with my good clients. I have one client that he'll call me as soon as he gets the note, and he says, "You still haven't learned to write, have you, Eddie?" And you know, so it's fun to talk about. And so write the notes, send them out. You know, if you have a database of 75 people, that's 75 birthdays, right? If they're married and you know they're married, that's 75 anniversaries. Plus, y'all all knew that's 75 welcome letters. Here's what I'm doing. Here's about me. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? You got to have your head in the game. Active generation ensures that you'll not only get business quick, but when it's done, you get that steady stream of business. Okay, and that's what we want. We want to be successful, right? Bless you. We want to make sure that we are doing everything in our power each day to let people know what we do. Everybody has, I took my name tag off, I went to my business meeting this morning, but everybody has a name tag or is getting a name tag, right? I used to think that was the corniest thing in the world.
Just to wear it all the time.
Just to wear it all the time. I honestly did. I have 2 in my car, 1 in my desk, 1 in my backpack. I try to remember to wear it all the time. I wish I did. I was at getting an oil change. I totally had come from showing property and still had it on. Talking to the guy, he goes, "Oh, you're a realtor?" I said, "Yeah." And we started talking. He's in a rental, so he is now in my database. Him and his wife want to move out, so we've started the conversation. And it's none of this business, unless you have somebody already you know, is overnight. It's cultivating. So, again, get that drunk monkey off your shoulder, wear the name tag. Trust me, for me, I mean, you do what you're doing, but that's one of the other things. Y'all all taking the first step, obviously taking Ignite, and you'll learn a lot. And it seems kind of, some of it's very intense and some of it you're like, oh, I know this, but you get a lot of good stuff out of this, so that's the thing. So we talked about handwritten notes. So lead generation is your number 1 job, right? If y'all kind of will turn, I think it should be page 14, is that where that? There's a funnel, right? Lead generation is your number 1 job. Prospecting is the quickest and most productive way to get leads, appointments for business. Has she talked about the daily 10-4 as the lead and built into the formula? Have y'all gone over any of this? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's a funnel. That's what I'm talking about, is what you meet, who you meet. It's all a funnel. And as that funnel gets nearer, we get to that payday, right? And prospecting is the cornerstone of our lead generation. So it's what relationships we come out of. So if you have a database, if your kids are in school, you have a database. You may not think about it, but if your kids are in school, you have a database. You can open up the directory, you have everybody's name. If you go to church, you go to synagogue, you go whatever, even if you're not religious, if you have a community, you have a database. And you're right, you're not going to take all 10,000 kids' names and put it in there, right? But go through it, see who you know, and then ask those people, who do you know? That's the key. You know, even if they you said that someone just spoke to someone, renter right now, building, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So who do they know? Because you know what? They're moving in a house. Are they a young couple? Mm-hmm. Older couple?
Middle age.
What do you call middle age?
40s.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. So I'm above middle age. Okay. No. But what I'm saying is that people get excited. They're going to have, they're going to bring people to their house because it's a new house, right? Be top of mind. How do you be popular? Hey, who do you know that's also thinking about moving? Who do you know is being transferred? It's a constant, who do you know? And you add them to the database. And you add them, and you know what? If you start sending emails out, at the bottom of e-edge, when you send an email, there's a thing that says unsubscribe. And if they unsubscribe, don't take it personal, move on. That's it. But don't ever delete them out of the database because you'll never know who calls you. I mean, they may be getting 500 emails a day and they're like, I just can't do one more. And not do it personally. If you know the person, like I bought his house, got married, sold his house, bought him a new house, moved into Smyrna. It's like, I looked at my things like unsubscribed. I picked up the phone. I'm like, Michael. Well, he goes, I didn't mean to. He goes, I get so much stuff, and now that we've moved, they sold my name to everybody. And he goes, I know you. I don't need your stuff. And I'm like, you do need my stuff because 5 years from now, when that person asks you who do you know, I'm gonna be top of mind. So I'm adding you back. Give me your other email. So don't take it personal. If you know them well enough, pick up the phone and ask them. Because if they're getting all those emails, it could be that. Say, look, why don't I do this? Is it okay if I just send it to you quarterly? So you take them off the email, but you know these people. Make sure you send something in the mail. Top of mind. So what are some benefits of prospecting? Anybody?
Information.
Information, okay.
To see who
Selling
they know.
houses.
I'm sorry?
I said to see who they know.
Who they know?
Actually making money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Building your confidence.
That's true. So what's the most inexpensive way to prospect? Because unless somebody here, which it's not me, and just has a pipeline of cash and just wants to, I mean, you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars trying to prospect other ways, but what's the most inexpensive way of prospecting?
Text.
Text, okay.
Just talking to people when they're out and about.
Call them face to face. So we have Uverse, AT&T, and as you do for all of y'all have AT&T, and you're always something every once in a while goes down. Just it's inevitable. Tech guy comes out. Sherry, for those of you who have not met my wife, who works at Certainty, so she's walking out the door. She looked at me and she says, "Don't you forget to ask him if he's interested in buying real estate." And I was like, okay, I will, the whole thing. Your wife's telling you what to do, right? So what do we do, guys? We say okay, and then usually what happens? We forget. But we got done, and so he was really good, and he was very helpful. And I said, by the way, I had my card out. I said, by the way, if you know anybody that's thinking about buying or selling real estate, I'd love to help them. The kind of customer service you gave me is what I give to my clients. So I will make you look good just like you made AT&T look good. And he says, as a matter of fact, my wife and I are in an apartment. Our lease is up in December, and we want to buy a house. So I said, well, have you taken the first step? And he said, what's the first step? I said, you need to talk to a lender. So we need to find out where your credit is and what you can afford or what we need to do to clean it up. Spent about 15 minutes talking. It's now in my database, now in Sherry's database, and he's got some work to do. And so it may not be a year. It may not be December. It may be May. You just never know. But again, I opened my mouth and I asked. Yes?
I want to just add, though, what was key with what you said was you made it quickly more about him. You said, I give my customer service like you give your customer service.
Right.
You didn't just stop with, I'm a real estate agent.
Correct.
Are you buying a house?
Right.
And so then you brought him into the fold. And I think that's important, is to capitalize on the opportunity, but to, make it personalized and endear them, but not make something up that's not true either.
Right. And he actually did
Yeah.
give great customer service. Like I've had a lot of issues with AT&T in the past, and you get some that are really good. He was like, okay, hold on, let's make sure you did this, and you have that. He was really good. So I wasn't even lying.
Right.
But you can also, even if he didn't give good customer service, that's my tagline. Where's my business card? Because y'all will get business cards, eventually. They gave you free ones. My tagline is experience and service to guide you home. Okay. That's my tagline, and I try to use that every time because everybody knows a realtor, right? Mm-hmm. You know a realtor, you're becoming a realtor, your sister's friend's a realtor, your brother's friend. Everybody, there's 20,000, I don't know how many there are of us, so we have to set it apart. So I always say at Eddie Levin with Keller Williams, we sell ATL, because it's my company, experience and service to guide you home. Most of the time they remember either we sell ATL or experience and service to guide you home. Not necessarily my name and not necessarily Keller Williams' name. So again, it's just rolling off the tip of your tongue. You said you were a chef cooking for people, and correct?
I didn't do most of the cooking.
But you had the interaction, right? So, you were reminding people this is the, what kind of menu or whatever it was.
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner? Okay, so that's whatever your tagline is. As corny as it sounds, how corny is experience and service to guide you home? Corny, but people remember it. All right, so let's make sure we get to, page 16. We talked about the benefits. Increasing your confidence, someone said, in skills, right? Yield quality of leads, which yields more leads, right? The more you become comfortable talking, the more leads you're going to get. So the myth. This was one for me to get over, and it will be one for, unless you've been in the cold calling industry, prospecting. What do you do when you're prospecting? I I get it every day. I don't want to talk to you. They're annoying. Click, right? You don't want to be rejected. Who wants to be rejected? No? Good, because you're going to get rejected. But you know what? Just again, you move on. It's just a myth. You think that people are annoyed, you think people are upset. They could be having a bad day, right? They could love you. You could have caught them at their dog left a trail from the kitchen to the living room. They're having a bad day, and you feel that rejection. Try again. Because if they reject you again, okay, move on. Maybe you caught them on a bad day. But you can call, hey, I'm sorry, we caught it at that time. So you just got to get over the rejection part. The truth is, prospecting is meeting, building relationships. Building relationships builds your business, and you have a strong relationship. Build your business, more pipeline, people refer you. My business is 100% referral. I do a little bit of Facebook, a little bit of LinkedIn. My kids are on top of me about Instagram, and I know we're going to talk about it. I'm not there, okay? It's a younger generation. I text, but it's all referral, and that's the key. We build a referral business, but how do you get to the referral business? You got a prospect, but I still call every day. I don't like it, but I do it. Yes.
Can I share something that happened
Sure.
to me this morning? I think that all of us feel the same way about a lot of this. My thing is, I know a lot of people, and I've got to approach them naturally, because to just make a phone call and say, I'm in real estate, that would not be me. But I saw some text that came across last night. It was a group text, not the Keller Williams one. And I have some of these people in my phone. And so I had just texted last night, who else is on this text? I recognize it, but I don't know who it is. So this morning, I saw one of them that named Bonnie, and I saw that she was trying to sell, that she might have her mother's property to sell. So I picked up the phone and I called her, and I know her socially. And I called her and I said, hey Bonnie, I just want to let you know, I said, first of all, I was trying to figure out last night who's on this string of text. I said, but then I saw your text about maybe selling your mother's property. And I said, I just got my real estate license, and hello, this is my homework. I've got to put people on my contact list. And she said, I was surprised. She says, Karen, my mother, we may sell it ourselves. We may have somebody that wants to buy it already, but if you would be the first person I would recommend. I'm like, yes. So it happened naturally for me.
Right. So you talked to her today?
This morning.
This morning.
That's
So
what I did before I came in. Yeah.
all right. So what's your follow-up going to be? She said you may have somebody who wants to buy.
She's going in
it.
my contact
Right.
list, and I was talking to her about our class and what they're asking us to do. I said, they want us to make 33 contact, and I know her well enough to say this. I said, they want us to make 33 connections a year. I said, my style is not to, I don't want to be one of those people that hounds somebody, but I'm going to try to find something that would interest someone, to just send them something that I see of interest. And she says, yeah, because that would be, I would be annoyed by that as well. And I said, I just want to put my name out in front so they remember me. And that's how a lot of people feel about it. And so that's what I'll do. She'll go in my contact and I'll look for something. I'll always find something I know about people to send them.
Right. See. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had this it's a great conversation.
Yeah.
So now she said she may have someone who can buy it, right? So we all come from everybody wants to help everybody, right? That's how you build a relationship, right? How do you come from from helping. Like tonight, hopefully y'all are going to stay tonight for Red Day, the bourbon tasting where they're raising money for the veterans. We all come from a place of everybody wants to help, right? And what's the best way to get a referral? By helping. So the next thing you may want to do, and again, what part of town is
No,
she?
this is exactly what I need to know.
What part of town?
Her property, I'm not sure where the property is. I didn't get into a
Okay.
lengthy conversation.
So you know, call her back and say, what's her name, so I can kind of roll through.
Bonnie.
Hey,
Bonnie.
You be Bonnie. Hey,
Okay.
Bonnie, I know that you told me that, you know, y'all might have someone to buy the house. Is it an individual, or are you looking at one of these iBuying type programs like Knock, Zillow? You know, she's gonna respond. Okay. You know what I'd love to do for you? And side note, I will help you, Stacy will help you, we can get, you know, I'd love to get you a CMA of what the house is, like to come out and look at it and help you. So if you do decide to sell it to this person you already know, or to one of these iBuyers, because we'll talk about iBuyers if y'all haven't gotten into that, I want to make sure you're not taking advantage of it. Everybody's on a great playing field. Now, her response is, this is my husband's best friend. Doesn't matter. It's a business decision. I'm not asking, you don't have to, look, if you end up selling it to this person, that's great. I'm not asking you for any money. I just want to make sure that everything's taken care of. Now, if you would like me to just represent you as a client, y'all know the difference between client and customer, y'all remember that from the class? If you'd like me to represent you as a client and make sure all the paperwork is done legally, because you can only use those forms, the GAR forms, if you're in the transaction, correct? You can't print them out and hand them to them and say, hey, look, you know, hey, Karen, I know we've been friends forever, and I know you're selling it to your sister. Here are the forms. Can't do that. That you can't do at all. But you can say, look, for me to do the paperwork for you to make sure everything is, since you already bound the buyer and everything, you can hire me as a client and I can help you through that procedure. And whatever instead of 3% to sell, whatever you want to charge. And so you may end up making money. They already found the buyer, but you're coming from a place of helping. Let me make sure you know the right price. Let me make sure we walk through and see. Is the roof new? Two things. You're going to learn about it because there's no pressure, right? You get to walk a house. I always recommend going to open house and Asian open houses. You see things. You see things you don't see. But you're going to learn. And again, if I can help you, I will come with you. Stacy will go with you. Because what's the best thing? Even if she sells it to the person and doesn't use you at all, right? Doesn't on her own. What have you made? You made a relationship that is going to. Can you believe what Karen was willing to do? We already had it all set up, and she came and helped me and didn't charge me. She's going to tell everybody. Or you may do that, and then guess what? This person doesn't get financing. This person, whatever, breaks down. She's like, you know what, Karen? List my home. Who's the first person she's going to go to? Find your business. Okay. So again, prospecting builds your business. Your business gets you money, right? And that's what we're all here for. So if you don't want the money, y'all can prospect for me. I'll close them and take it. You know, but no, I know you'll do it. There's a video we're gonna watch real quickly, and then we'll kind of talk about it. And then depending on the time and how we're going, we got a lot to cover, and I do talk a lot, so I want to make sure we get through everything. So this is called finding more leads, all right? Somebody want to turn off the lights? I don't know if we need it or not.
Lead generation is your #1 job. You have started by calling your nets, your sphere of influence. You have even reached out via social media. But what do you do when you run out of contacts? Where can you find more leads? There are many places you can find additional prospecting opportunities. Think about your children's sporting events or activities. And don't forget about your own organizations and clubs. Your children's school or PTA would be an excellent source for contacts, as well as your place of worship. Even your mechanic. They rely on referrals for their business just like you do. Using these and other sources for prospecting opportunities will lead to more contacts and referrals that will grow your business. More contacts and referrals will lead to more appointments, listings, and closings. This will help you meet and exceed your goals.
Okay, so as I said, you just never know where, like I said, PTA, school, football, guy changing your oil, the AT&T guy. How many of y'all go to Starbucks or what is it, Einstein Bagels, or every morning get a coffee or whatever?
I was there this morning and I was like, I need to just come sit here because the number of people I saw who I kind of know was insane. And I'm like, I need to just come here once a week and just sit here, 8 o'clock in the morning, and oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I could
So
work in the meantime.
I used to, and I've gotten bad, but I need to get, like, because I got started getting fat, but I need to start doing it again because the fat part's going to happen regardless. I would go sit at Goldberg's and then Waffle House on Chambray Dunwoody. Because there'd be people I have not seen in a while, and this when I switched over to Keller Williams, I was doing this last year. And I would just sit there and I had coffee and I had a bagel, and it just easy conversation. You just walk. Oh, I hadn't seen you in a while. Oh, I don't want to interrupt. I see you're here with somebody. Just so excited to tell you I'm with Keller Williams now. You know, it's a. You can make your calls from there. I mean, obviously, if it's really busy or whatever, but I'm not a Starbucks fan, but people love it. And a friend of ours goes every day. And so if you like Starbucks and you go to the same Starbucks every day, sit. Don't just pick it up and take it and walk out. Sit for a little bit. Yes.
I was gonna say, a good place to go, where a good place that I picked up a lot of leads at. You know, Atlanta has a lot of festivals, and you know they have like the Bourbon Festival and the Cheese Sandwich Festival and all that stuff. And I went to this Mimosa Festival. I think it was early in March, and this was right before I moved up here and signed up with Keller Williams before I took a night. And I met this girl out there, and we was just talking. And, you know, she was talking to me, and then she turned around and asked me the question about real estate. And I was like, oh, you know, I just became an agent. She was like, where's your name tag? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, where's your business cards? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, have you took an Ignite? And I was like, no. And she was like, oh my God. She's like, you're going to learn so much. She was like, she brought 50 business cards, and she gave away all 50 of them, and she made 45 contacts, just like that. And you know, you think a lot of people out there that having fun, they're drinking and stuff like that, and you kind of think, okay, maybe sometimes people just talk. But she says she goes to every festival with her badge on, and she brings at least 50 to 100 business cards with her every time, and she gets plenty of contacts. And she says some of them, you know, majority of them, they're duds. But she says a lot of them have people calling her, and she's like, if I don't meet my quota throughout the week, and I know that I'm going to this festival, she said she'll know she'll blow her quota out. You know.
Is she with Keller Williams? Another Keller Williams?
Yeah, she's with. I think it's like a Keller Williams North or something like that. Yeah, and that's what she told me. And she was like, but anytime you go anywhere, even if you go after here, like you go to the mall or something like that, and you just go sit down in the food court, she said, wear your name badge, because there's been times she's been eating and people are like, I don't want to disturb you, but I can. You work with Keller Williams, and then she'll sit down and have a conversation with somebody for hours. And then make this contact with this person, and then next thing you know, this person gave her 2 or 3 leads. So, you know, it's really my whole experience from just being out. It's everywhere you go, it's somebody's gonna notice you, especially if you have your name tag on. Especially if you see somebody sit at the bar or something like that. People sit at the bar because they have something on their mind, or they just want to get relaxed. So, you know, it's also good to sit at the bar sometimes. I've met numerous amount of people who are construction development people and stuff like that, and they look for just land and property and stuff like that. So you just never know who you meet in everyday life. You know, just walking and talking. You just got to be able to, talk to people. Just get out that habit of not wanting to talk to somebody.
Probably ought to go hang out at hotel bars because there's people from out of town traveling there that might be transferring.
And there's I don't know if you said this already, but the last Keller Williams I was at in Stockbridge, we had a coach down there named Stuart Sons, and the one thing he told me was just get out the mindset of everybody's going to tell you no, because there's going to be a lot of no's, but you meet somebody and they tell you no, and you walk away from them, they forgot about you, you should forget about them, and then you go to the next person. It's just the more people you talk to, the more stuff you practice with different things. I feel like you can find your way of doing it the way you like to do it.
So that actually kind of we're going to lead into the Four Seasons in a second, but as I told you, I took Bold recently, and one of the things in Bold, and it's optional, you don't have to do it, but they have a thing called the Bold 100. 100 meets in a day. And you say to yourself, hey, there's no way I can talk to 100 people in a day. Well, I'm a sucker for a challenge. And we're sitting around the table, and there's a group of 8 in your team. So our team was team 8. And I was the only one that was new to Keller Williams. Everybody else had been with Keller Williams for a while. One of the guys in our group taken Bold 3 times. And so when they started around, I said, all right, who's done a Bold 100? And none of them had done it. And these are not, and they were like, I can't do it. So it's like, all right, I'm going to do it. If I do it, the rest of y'all have to do it. And they're like, yeah. So I did a Bold 100, and I did it on a Friday. Got up in the morning, and I had taken my database of people I had not talked to, and I started calling. And then I got exhausted of being on the phone. So you got to get your mindset. Again, it's all mindset, right? Got up, I left the office, got in the car, and you start thinking of all the excuses except for what you have to do, right? Got to get my hair cut, I got to, whatever it is, right? It's like, oh, I only got a half a tank of gas. I need gas. Well, who needs to fill up, right? But my mindset, because I had talked to so many people, and I was like, all right. So I went to the Kroger, Sandy Springs Circle, if y'all know where that is. They have a Kroger there and it has gas, so I got gas. And I said, all right, I can do this. And because I hadn't talked to people, there's like 25 people out of however many I called. Because you have to, talk. You have to physically talk. You can't text. You can't Facebook. You can't link that. You either have to talk to them on the phone or meet them face to face. Filled up the car. Said to myself, I can do this. Got my business cards. I went door to door to every store. Started talking to all the associates. It was early. It was like 11 o'clock. They weren't busy. I made 15 contacts. Most of them were all in apartments, and they all were thinking about it. 15 new people in the database. It's like, yes, I can do this. Stood in front of the Kroger door, okay? Hi, my name's Eddie Levin. I'm doing a Bold 100 challenge. I just really have been challenged to be able to meet 100 people today and just ask them one simple question. Do you have a second? Now, some people just walk right by you, right? It's just like the kids selling the Girl Scout cookies. You walk like this, because, and when you said it like that, and, I had my Keller Williams, I had my jacket on, I had my Keller Williams. It wasn't like, I was just professionally. And I sat and I probably talked to about 15, 20, 30 more people. Now, those are Mets. I met them, right? But I only probably got about 3 or 4 emails. People are very willing to give you their email. They're going to typically give you a phone number. So one of the great things that, if you've not downloaded it, when you do something like this, you all have the Keller Williams app on your phone. Have you downloaded it? So if you're out and about, whether you're in New York, Savannah, or Atlanta, you want to know the price of a house because you're just around, this app's free, you can do it. And then they say, oh yeah, okay. And you say, let me have your number and I'll text it to you. Well, they can't give you a fake number if they're standing next to you, right? So that's how sometimes you can get a phone number. Because what's your phone? Hey Eddie, what's your phone number? 404-112, so, right? I don't know who you are. Or the email's Eddie Levin at mindsprings.com, But if you engage, so you're always going to get those. You move on. So I did that. I picked up the phone, I called Sherry, and I was like, I'm at 60 people. She's like, you can do it. So I went to a Publix, and I stood outside, and I talked to those people. And then it was about, I was 15 people short. And you have to do 100, right? And it's dinner time, and I'm thinking, nobody wants to talk to me on a Friday at dinner. So I went to Dunwoody Tavern. Sat at the end of the bar at Dunwoody Tavern. Still, I had my piece of paper. Everybody I had met. I was just checking them off. Ordered beer. Started talking. And it was early. 6 o'clock is not really early. There were people in there. But it wasn't packed yet. And I was talking to the bartender. And she says, well, what do you, she says, you're a realtor. I said, yeah. And I said, I'm doing this challenge. I'm trying to meet all these people. And she's like, oh, so-and-so over here, he's in here all the time. He's in construction. He might know somebody. Started talking to him. He's on my database. Then I was sitting there, and there was a group of 15 guys. And it was about 7:15 now. And all of a sudden, their sons come in. All of them had Dunwoody baseball uniforms. And so I leaned over, and I was like, I think, because they went over to, if everyone had been in the Dunwoody Tavern, they kind of have a bar here, and then on the back section they have tables and chairs. It's kind of so they all kind of like said hello to the dad, and they went over to the corner. And I said, well, that's a perfect. I looked at him and I said, I said, do y'all meet here, and then one of y'all go pick up your kids, and then you come back here? And he goes, no. He goes, 4 of them split an Uber from Dunwoody High School over to here. Well, that's 1.5 miles. So what is the Uber, $5? So the fathers don't even pick them up. They're sitting there drinking. Well, for the next 4 hours, I sat there and talked to them. I had a meeting with 3 of them. They're putting their money together. They're going to start investing in real estate. They introduced me. So by 11:30, I had 121 Mets out of that. I had 15 appointments set, and 2 of them are future buyers. Now, I didn't think I could do it. And I could talk you head off. I didn't think I could do it. If you get over like you said, the no, you keep going. So that kind of leads into this, who knows what the 4 C's are?
Capture, connect, close, and cultivate.
There you go. All right, so your first, creating the kind of personal connections, again, will lead to your relationship like we talked about with Karen, what she can do, and you can build a business on that, correct? So first you capture your lead by getting their contact information. Then you contact to establish the relationship. And then you close for an appointment, and eventually to a buying or selling a property. And then you cultivate and maintain and strengthen that relationship. If we always come from a point of giving, right, people are a little bit more acceptant. If I picked up the phone and said, hey, Ryan, I know we haven't talked in a while. Look, we're having a golf tournament. I need you to play golf for $150. Odds are we're not great friends. He's probably going to blow me off, right? Hey, Ryan, just to let you know, I'm helping work on a golf tournament. We're raising money to help build a home for a veteran. Would you be interested in doing it? Well, you got a better chance of maybe a yes, because now what are we doing? We're coming from a point of what are we doing? We're building a home for a veteran. We're raising money for the dogs. We're raising money for cats. We're raising money for pigs. Whatever it is, whatever your thing is, come from the position of giving. People realize that you're not always, hey Lisa, who do you know who wants to buy or sell? Who do you know wants, that's our ultimate goal, correct? But if we build a relationship and we cultivate it, you'll close and you'll make more money.
It's interesting that you say that, because like yesterday I asked a question. I always send out Mother's Day cards, so I would go and pick up like 20.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to expand it this year, but I decided like that's the one, not the one, but I'm not going to put anything real estate or business. I'm just going to let that one go, but I am going to expand it to people.
Right.
But I am going to leave some people out who I would think would go, why is she sending me this? I think people would appreciate it, but you know what I'm saying? It's going to,
Okay.
yeah.
So how do you cultivate? T.S., you're farming, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Again, what is our job? Get our name out, right? How do we cultivate business and find business? We get our name out. So, I'll pass this. Everybody, what do we hear from October through December? Food drive, can drive, money, right? So, we do this twice a year. We do it Thanksgiving, and then we do it in the spring. Because everybody forgets about the spring. So this is one of for our farming of our neighborhood. We email this to everybody. We put this on every door. We circle prospect, we call. And all it says is, we sell ATL food drive, right? That's it. And then it talks together. We can help our neighbors. We come by and pick it up. We will be by to pick up on November 12th, a specific date. Please leave your bag by the front door at 9 a.m. Not asking to talk to you. I'm not asking for anything. What is needed? We called North Fulton Charities. What do they need at that time? Because they don't always need food. Sometimes it's toothpaste, sometimes it's socks, sometimes it's shoes. And then what we also did is items we don't need right now. Because that's not what they need. In this case, they didn't eat green beans, corn, pumpkin, because that's what they get. Everybody goes to the grocery store. Pumpkin is 3 cans for $1, whatever it is. So everybody gets it. So I did that. Thanks again for helping us, the charity. That's it. Okay? We weren't sure how this was going to go over, right? But the majority of the response, and we followed up with a little, is this the one we did? No. So basically we made cards. This is another one I'm going to tell you. And so when we picked up their bag, right, we had basically, thank you for supporting North Fulton Charities on this. And on the back it says, if you or someone you know is looking to buy, sell, or home, or if you'd like a free home market analysis, please call us. We didn't talk to anybody. We just said it was a thank you, right? We had 3 people in the neighborhood that called us. They weren't even interested in selling, but they were asking about what the value of their home was because they knew they just gotten, they knew the tax bill was being due, and it's the conversation. Will they ever buy or sell a house with us? I don't know. But we're in front of them and they know who we are. And they will refer us. Now, same lady in that neighborhood is looking to buy another house. She's got remarried. She went through divorce. She doesn't know what she's doing with the house. She didn't call me yet. She called my wife. Okay. But it's the connection. It may come back, it may not. Again, it's just staying in front. It's all about cultivating the
Question.
Yes.
So you said that you sent those cards to people who actually donated something?
No, when we went and picked up the bags, we put it on the door. You can't put it in the mailbox. Y'all know that.
That's illegal.
Cannot put anything in the mailbox. You have to put it on the door. You can hang it from the back part. Cannot put it in the mailbox.
So you put the flyer on the door the first time?
No, we had the flyer and we had a bag.
Okay.
A plastic bag, and we hung it on the door.
Okay.
Or if we knew they didn't go to the front door, because there's some houses that have front doors that's never been used except for the day they bought the house and the day they sell the house. Then we would hang it on the back of the mailbox, not not off the flat, but off the back of the mailbox. So they'd see it when they drive up.
So, quick question about, so I know you can't put stuff in the mailbox, but also if somebody has a sign that says no soliciting, you can't go on the property then?
My subdivision says that, and I get more knocks
Are
on
you
my door than
soliciting?
a little bit.
No, but I'm just trying to clarify. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I feel like it's right.
So there's I'll answer this question for you. So Edgewater Cove in Marietta, if any of you all know about it, I've sold 4 or 5 homes over my 10 plus years in that neighborhood. And we did this, okay? And I got a call from the guy who told me he was the HOA. You should have seen the email that he wrote. He emailed Brad all of this. I mean, like how, if you want to do business, you should do it the same way. Every way all the other agents do, they put it, they send us a postcard or, and they have a no soliciting sign. There's nowhere on here that I'm asking to buy or sell your house. Okay, and Brad thought it was so funny. So when I saw the email, I went into Brad and he just started laughing and he's like, "Look, what are you going to do?" I said, "Well, what I did was I emailed the guy back and I said, I'm sorry that you're upset. If you would like, we will come by tomorrow and pick up any of the bags that had not been taken. They were either on the mailbox, taken off, and we apologize. All we're trying to do is help our local community. If you don't want to participate, we understand." So forth. We drove by. I think we picked up 5 bags out of a neighborhood of 85, and 2 of them had blown off, and they were in the street. Okay, it happens. It's bad. We picked up. And it was raining too, so we picked them. We picked up. I got 2 people this year that are talking about selling their house from that are on my ticker, and we're supposed to schedule to meet. One at the end of this month and one the end of May after school's out. So you're going to have that. Excuse me, I can't say that word. You're gonna have that. Y'all know what I was about to say.
Yeah.
You're gonna have that person. If just you step up and be the better person. He wrote a whole nother email after we told him we were doing this, like going on. You just can't please everybody. And like Ryan said, what do? You move on. So let's kind of go over the 4 C's. If y'all want, we'll take a quick break after we do that. Again, there's a lot of stuff I want to make sure we cover. And I do get off on tangents, so I'm going to make sure y'all, because this is really important. This is the backbone of how you're going to be the next real estate, you're going to make it. Is you got to cultivate and build your database. So again, capture, I'm just going to kind of read this. The goal of building a database is to capture as many haven't mets. Y'all know the difference between mets and haven't mets, right? We all met today, right? If we weren't all in real estate, I'd be having all of you on my database, and I'll be happy to add y'all on my database if y'all want and see what I sent out. I don't care. It's free. It's free. And as many haven't mets as possible, they turn into mets quickly, and then mets turn into, what does a met turn into, hopefully?
Business.
Repeat and referral business. Repeat and referral business. Every time you speak with someone in your database, make sure you have all their information. I am terrible about this, and it is on my 411 this year to do better. I can't tell you how many people I have their email and not their phone number, or I have their phone number and not their address. So always ask. And I've gotten, what's the simplest way to ask? Okay, it took me forever trying to think of what is the simplest way to increase making sure we have everything. So in this case, what's this week is the master. So I don't know if y'all got the master sheet from Brad. We do it also. So people that I haven't talked to in a while, whatever, I pick up the phone at just what I'm doing and say, look, Ryan, it's Eddie. I hope everything's well. Hope you got my master's contact information. I just real quick, if you don't mind, I need to update my database. This is the phone number I have. This is the email that I have from you. So hopefully you got my master's thing. If that's not correct, I need to send it out quickly. And is your wife's cell phone number changed, or is it still 40? Whatever. That's not it. One digit off. Boom. Shut up and let them do it. Most of them are going to say, oh yeah, blah blah. If you're uncomfortable calling, because Ryan and I, we've been playing cards for the last 4 years. And I know I've driven to his house, right? So what do? You pick up the FMLS, you go into FMLS. If y'all haven't been there yet, take a matrix, do a property tax search. Ryan, is it forward? Am I saying right? Mm-hmm. Boom, 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 there's his address. Okay, so you don't have to ask for it. Now what are you asking for? Well, you called him, so you have his phone number. Mm-hmm. Hey, I want to make sure your email's correct. Did you get it? I didn't see you respond to it. Okay? Yeah. By the way, I'd love to send the stuff to your wife, and I don't have her email. Do you mind sharing that with me? Okay. It's taking me and my wife may be watching this, 5 months to get into the habit of asking that information, because she tells me all that. I mean, she's in the mortgage business. She does the same thing. It took me 5 months. And I'm learning, and again, I've been with Keller Williams, a year? These are the little things that you have to get over that drunk monkey and over that in the back of your head. Just ask for it. Okay, so the next one is connect. What are we doing? Connecting. We're building rapport and trust. One of the best ways is with questions, right? So if you have the time, Karen, we talked about the 20-minute phone call. How are the kids? Where are the kids going to school, if you know that? How do you build rapport? How do you take interest? Celine, man, you've got so much going on. You have the 3 jobs. Now you're doing real estate. Tell me, what can I help you? What can I help you with? Who do you need? I'm not asking for her information yet, am I? I'm asking her, what can I do for her? She's going to say, you know what I really need? I need a kid that blah, blah, blah can do database entry for the next, over the summer. I know a couple of people. Is it okay if I give your information out? Can I just, I know I have your email as blah, blah, blah. I just want to confirm. So you came from a position, again, of wanting to help. So what are you going to say at the end? Hey, Celine, I'm so glad. I hope these people work out. I'm going to follow up with you. By the way, do you know anybody that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Or anybody that I may be able to talk to? And you be quiet, they're going to say what?
I don't know.
I don't know. So what are you going to say?
Just keep me in mind.
That's what you're going to say? Okay. Hey, Ryan, I know you don't know anybody right out off the bat. I'm going to get you those names. I'm going to email them to you. Is next Thursday a good time to follow up at 2 o'clock to make sure you got those names? And by the way, maybe in that week time, do you think of anybody that might know, buy or sell interested in real estate that I can talk to? At that time, could I get their information? Thanks. I'll see you at Thursday at 3. Or if no, Eddie, I'm in a meeting at Thursday at 3. How's Friday at 2? Or Friday at 2 work, or Friday at 4 work? This is one of the things I've learned. Can't leave it open-ended.
It seems like at first it seems like you're being pushy, but then I think about it, it's like things settle in, and then, 2 days later they're like, you know what? I just remembered. Susie's, my cousin Susie's moving, but they might not call you back, or they'll get around to it when they get around to it.
Right.
So it is important to.
But if you're giving them something,
Right.
that gives you the perfect time to go follow back up, correct? They're asking for your help, right? So what do you want to do? Well, our job is to look like all-stars, right? So if I'm asking you for a referral, correct? And you give me that referral, I'm going to bend over backwards to make sure that I make Celine look good. Because Karen, who Celine referred, is going to be talking, say, oh my God, Eddie never called me. Are you ever going to give me a referral? No, I didn't follow through. But if Karen calls and says, oh my God, Eddie was the best. He's offered to do this. Thank you so much. What's going to happen the next time? So, pick up the phone. Celine, I just want to thank you for giving me Karen's name. I feel we had a great talk. I hope I made you look good. If there's anything you can ever do, or if you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in real estate, please, I will make you look like an all-star. I will take care of them. Again, like Brad always says, and everybody else says around here, most agents don't do what? Follow up. And I've been as guilty as all of them. But if you follow up, what's the worst? That you call them and say, Celine goes, Eddie, I can't talk right now. Okay, thanks, bye. I'll shoot you an email. Email may work better for you. Text, my kids, they don't know how to talk on the phone. They text. I don't like text. I don't like sending emails. I like being on the phone, but you got to do it. Thank God for spell check. That's all I can say. Okay, so closing, it goes back to what I've just gone over. What are we doing when you're closing? What's the job? What is our job? The goal for a call and a close is what?
Get the appointment.
Get an appointment with them. What's the number 2?
Referral.
Right. And number 3? Reciprocate. And I kind of do that in my way. I do that first because I want to come from a position of helping. To me, it's easier to close after you're offered to help. What works for you is what you want to do, but that's the thing. There's the hard close, the soft close, the direct close, and y'all go through all that. But when you do a direct close, and you always say, well, Thursday at 2 or Thursday at 4 or Thursday, don't just say what day works for you, because what happens?
None of them.
I will figure out something and call you back.
I'll call you back.
I'll email you. We'll figure out a day. How many people, and I've done it, I'll email somebody I haven't seen and say, let's go to lunch. What day works for you? And then you're like 3 days later, like, damn, I never heard back from them. And you start thinking, so then you pick up the phone or you call and say, look, can you do lunch on Tuesday the 5th? Let's go to Taco Mac. Eddie, I can't do Tuesday at Taco Mac. I can do Wednesday. Then they have to answer. Don't always make sure you give them time. Because what? We're all busy, right? Even if you're not busy, right? If this is your full-time job and you're just getting started, you're not busy, right? You're making, but what I'm saying is, what I mean by that is, you don't have sales, you're just starting, you're making phone calls. They don't know that. And if you leave it wide open, it seems like, oh, well, you can meet me with whenever. I don't have anything. oh my God, he's busy. I got to fit into his schedule. I got to see what's going on. What is he doing now in his new career that he only can meet me on Wednesday at 12 or Thursday at 2? You could have met him Wednesday all day or Thursday all day, right? I do that. I can tell you. I mean, you know. But like someone said the other day in the meeting, if you feel like you have business, you have business. If you make it seem like that. It's the same with making calls. And I've learned this from trial and error. Let me tell you. Rejection is great because you learn from it. And you got to get over it. So again, close. And then of course the last one we've talked about throughout the whole time, cultivate, cultivate, cultivate. Let's go over, you know, people, they want to do business when you are willing to help them and you refer business to them. You know, I'm a guy, right? Sports. We send out, you know, these are, right? That's the SEC, that's ACC, that's SEC. If you know, has all the schools. Well, I think to send this out, manila envelope, we put a little thing out, I sent it to everybody. Everybody keeps them. Even if they don't have a football team, but what I found was even better if you do this when you're finding new business. So I have a buddy of mine who works over here at Cox, and we're very good friends. I could ask him to change a tire for me, whatever. But I've never asked him, because he's up there with Cox. He's a VP with Cox. Never asked him if I could come to his office. We go out to lunch. We stay in contact. He refers business. And I made these. I said, Andy, I'm going to be over by the office. Can I come to the office? I got something for you. Hey, what do I have? This is whole mail out to $1.50, right? Just took a stack with them. Because if you've been over to Cox, or I'm sure it's everywhere. It's all cubicles, right? Except for his office and a couple others' offices. So I walked in, and I was like, he's like, oh my God, that's great. He goes, and then looks at me and goes, where's Purdue's schedule? I'll get you a Purdue schedule. I don't even know who do they have a team? They had a great team this year, right? You know, he not SEC or ACC. Well, I said, do you know anybody else that might want one? He goes, sure. We walked in, he goes, half these people put it on their, he goes, we walked, he goes, anybody want to schedule SEC? I don't know any of these people. Had 2 people call me, they're on my database. I have not sold them, right? But I'm staying in front of them. I think we spent $250 to have these made and sent out what we did. So if you know somebody, like you were saying, you deal with higher level people. If you feel comfortable, say, look, it's but take a stack with you. Don't just take one. Mm-hmm. And then I have a friend of mine who works over here at IHG, and he travels a lot. So I sent it to him. And he called me and he goes, I put it up at my desk. And where's a better place to send it, home or work?
Work.
Work? Who says work, who says home? Everybody says work? You're right, why is work better?
Directions.
Everybody, yeah. Even if they have somebody, like you said, that opens their email or opens their letters, they're more inclined to say, oh my God, look what Eddie sent me. And people over here. If you're at home and they see an envelope, there's the trash can.
And handwrite it on the envelope.
If you have nice handwriting, sort of get someone to do it. But always take a stack with you. I was at, what was the baker place? It's Panera, it's not a baker place, on Chambly Dunwoody. And I had one of these out, so I was meeting somebody, and this guy walked by and he goes, oh, where'd you get that? I'm like, here. I don't know who he is. I didn't have time to talk. I mean, maybe one day he'll call me. I mean, what's it about? It's nothing. I mean, it is something, but it's nothing. It's finding your business, and that's it, and you cultivate it. And anybody that gives you a referral, obviously you know what to do. You handwrite a note. Send them if they give you a referral in terms of this, send them a gift card, whatever. They don't necessarily want it. They're not asking you for it. It's just the thought. So a friend of mine gave us a referral, and she likes, what is that plant called? They die off of. I can't remember. Went to Trader Joe's. It's like this big, $9.95. Put a little ribbon around it. Said thank you to took it to her office.
Orchid.
Thank you. Took it to her office. She wasn't there. She wasn't there, and I didn't call her ahead of time. I just took it to her, and her assistant said, "Oh, she's out of town." And so I said, "Okay." I said, she goes, "But I'll take care of it, you know." She goes, "Where's mine?" I said, "I'll get you one next time." Took a picture of it, texted to her, and she's like, probably about 3 hours later, she had already called her assistant, asked her assistant to take it to her house because she wanted it at her house. So when I found that out, I went and got another one and took it to her assistant. And I added her to my database. And she told me up front, she goes, "My niece is in real estate." I was like, that's it. I just, look, if you want to share your information with me, I'll just keep you up to date. I may tell you something that your niece didn't know. I'm not asking for your business, right? I may never get anything. She may refer to her. Odds are, if I stay in touch with her and her niece might drop out, she'll remember me. So, we'll go over sphere of influence. If y'all want to take a quick 5-minute break, I know we're past, or if y'all want to stay moving on, it's up to y'all. I do want to make sure we have a lot to cover. And again, there's a lot, for some reason, a lot of questions are on the test from this chapter. So we'll take a quick 5 minutes and we'll go from there. So Celine, what'd you think of that house?
I thought it was really nice. Yeah, I liked it. I had seen the pictures, I think, before I even joined the office. It showed up on the feed. If it could be moved in to town, I would want to buy.
That home, if you move it, it's 740 over here. You move that into town. Oh my God, what would that be?
Maybe
$1,200,000,
yeah.
$1,500,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
What house was that? Was that the one
The
on
one
Caravan?
open house.
Yeah.
Where was that? In Sandy Springs?
Yeah.
It's-
I love that
Yeah,
area.
it's
Off of
Sandy
Spalding.
Springs, but it's off of Spalding.
Yeah.
To me, it's
Yeah.
more on the Dunwoody
Yeah,
side.
I always think that's Dinwiddie's, that little part that just.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
It kind of goes
I
through.
got a friend that lives right over there.
I love
Yeah.
that area, but
Yeah.
I just, because we moved to North Buckhead 3 years ago, and now I can't think of living anywhere else, even though I don't like my house. Like, if we move again, I at least have to have a condo in Buckhead or something, because I do not want to be tied to have to travel to commute.
I've loved living over in this side of
Because we did
town.
have a condo, that's when we first moved to Buckhead, we had a condo. And we had a house in Stone Mountain. I hate to say it, in hindsight, I kind of wish we had kept both, because it was the best of both worlds. I paid half as much in mortgages and I had 2 places. I could deal with driving back and forth and having 2 of everything for that price.
That's what we do with people.
Well, because we did Monday through Friday when we worked, so then when we were working, it was so low maintenance, everything was compact, we had only what we needed, and then on the weekends and summer breaks, we went out and looked on this. It was almost like what people are doing now with Blue Ridge.
Yeah, there are
With
a
what?
lot of.
With Blue Ridge is what makes it laugh. Like literally, my kids went to Warranty Jackson, so you know, oh we have a lake house. And my kids said, we don't. I said, well, we have a mountain house. It's Stone Mountain, but we still have a mountain house.
It's all perspective.
I know. I mean, it was the.
I have a lady that I'm staying in touch with. I'm trying to make a client, right? Her kids go to, so they own a home in St. Marlowe,
Yeah.
and the kids go to Woodward, so they bought a house in College Park.
Everyone's doing that.
She's found that they love the house in College Park so much that she keeps telling me, "Are y'all called?" I'm sorry, I'll turn it up.
It's warm out in the hall. I keep thinking I'm gonna wear jeans.
It feels like it just got cold all of a sudden. Though.
Yeah.
See, I think it feels great.
You're a guy.
You're having hot flashes.
All right, I turned it up. How's that? So when I start sweating,
So she likes to have some college prior.
She loves it. So I'm trying to get her to let me list her house in St. Marlo's. I call her every 2 weeks since December.
Every 2 weeks, wow.
Every 2 weeks, because we talk, and I say, how about I'll follow up with you in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. Sound good? On Wednesday? Sure. And then I call her. Sometimes I talk to her, sometimes I don't. And I'll say, okay. And she says, we're still not. I even said to the point where I said, why don't you just give me the keys and I'll go walk through it and tell you what you need to do. I'll be happy to. I'll come down to College Park, pick up the keys. She goes, let me talk to my husband. I said, okay. She sends me an email. She goes, call my husband Monday morning. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is great, right? Because I've never been able to talk to husband. He's always flying, he's all whatever. 10 o'clock on the dot. 10 o'clock on the dot, call the husband. Who the hell do you think you are? Asking for a key to the house. Blah, blah. I mean, just laid into me. Just laid into me. And I just said, I said, I think our lines got crossed. I've been talking with your wife. She's telling me what she thinks needs to be done and how busy y'all are. All I was trying to do was offer to help. Look, it's a gated community. I'll give you. They get my driver's license. I'm coming to your office. You can take a picture of me. I mean, what I said. All I was doing was trying to help, so she wasn't so stressed out. Oh. He goes, we're just really not sure what we want to do. I said, look. That's fine. She was just saying she thought she needed this and this, and that's all I was trying to say was, let me look at it. You may not need to.
Right.
And so I called her. He said, well, let me talk to her. I said, okay, great. Can we follow up Monday? You'll see I follow up with her on Monday. I called her, and she's like, I am so sorry. And I'm like, why? Because of what my husband said. He said to me, I said, look, it was just miscommunications. I said, but again, what do you want me to do?
Right.
We don't know. So I will call 2 weeks. And I send her market stats and saying, because their house in that area, for what, I haven't seen the inside, for what they want and what it is, the average days on the market is 75 days. Well, we're already in April.
Yeah.
I don't, we keep waiting longer and longer. It's going to be 130 days. It's going to be. But there's no, what you have to do is, we have to find everybody's pain and pleasure, right? Mm-hmm. What is the pain of not selling? What is the pain of not listing? Well, they have no pain.
Right.
They have no pain. Yeah. Because money's not the issue. I've never, one day maybe I can say the same thing. But money's never the issue.
You need to find out if they have a vacation home. Maybe if they don't have a vacation home in Seaside, maybe that would be the reason to sell them in St. Marlo.
That's a question. I'll ask her. I didn't think about that.
Give her some more pleasure.
Right.
Gosh.
So,
because we know some people who bought one in Rosemary Beach, and they rented out, and I'm like, if I only had like $1 million to spare so that I could even buy it in the first place.
Just chicken.
But they're renting it out for $500 a week.
So, it's just, that's the hardest part about getting a bar job after once we've made the connection. What is the pain?
Yeah.
How do you find out what is the pain?
I'll be
What
nine.
is going to make them put the house on the market? Do this, do that.
Look, I just want a leg. I just get a piece of chicken. See if they do that.
Oh, from over there?
Yeah, I wonder if they.
I think, they have a whole menu over there now.
Who's here today?
Mrs. Winter.
Oh,
Who?
Mrs. Winter.
I wish it was Popeyes.
Right over there across the hall? I didn't even know Mrs. Winters
No,
was
like
still...
you go out, you go across. It's like
Yeah.
this little open.
Yeah, and
signature.
I didn't know Mrs. Winters was still around.
Mm-hmm.
So if you download, there's a thing it's called Fuda. It's an app called Fuda, and it'll tell you when they close the 2 little delis that were in there, they bring someone different every day in the north and the south. So if I think it's Fuda. Hold on.
Is there a food truck out there?
They have food trucks over there. We don't ever have it on our side.
On the north side?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called, so Miss Winter's in, and Chick-fil-A's on the other side. And then tomorrow is Viva Italian Kitchen and Two Sisters Cooking. So we'll tell you what, if you're hungry, what's on either side. And they do
Just for these 2 buildings?
just
Like
these 2
that?
buildings.
Oh, okay.
It's just for, they, I think you had to put in the address or what, I don't know how, I don't remember when they sent it out. And then they always seem to have food trucks over there. And so how long have you been with Keller Williams? You said you were at Stockbridge?
Yeah, so I got my license back in December. And I signed on with Keller Williams in Stockbridge, because that's where I was living at the time. But then, living situation kind of messed up, so I had to go back to my job for a while. And I had to get my own apartment. And I used to live up here about 3 years ago, so I moved back over here. But a girl told me about, when I was looking for apartments, she was another one who told me about the Ignite program with the Rawls Group in Perimeter. And I was like, well, you know what? Everything kept pointing me to go back to Perimeter. Everything kept pointing me back this way, so I was like, you know, this is where I need to be.
I mean, I interviewed with Coldwell Banker, I mean, because I've been doing, you know, I had I knew a lot of people. And just the support, the training,
Yeah.
is the atmosphere is just
It's different.
It's yeah, and it's different from this Rawls Group office to another Rawls Group office. It's just very, you know, and one of the main things, and again, you can ask anybody a question. I mean, I don't care. You have a question, you walk around, and everybody's gonna, you know, will help you. And as I said, you don't ever have any questions. My door's locked, and it's all no. But seriously, you can come down. And me, Sam, you know, stay. If we don't know it, we'll help you find who to.
Was your wife already here?
No. So when I made the move in March. She was with a company called Southeastern Mortgage. She'd been with them for forever. So when I made the move, she started thinking, well, maybe she should make a move. You know, she's been with. So she came and she met with Randy, and so she came over here. But she's got, I don't know how many years of experience. She started off as the office manager, and then she ran the appraisal desk. So she does credit. If you ever have a client with credit issues, she knows how to do credit repair. And she's very, very patient, and she'll walk you through all of that. As soon as Helen gets back, we'll get started.
Who were you with before?
I was with a company called Wilshire Properties.
Wilshire?
Yeah, East Cobb.
Yeah.
We mostly did property management. Managed 250 homes. I did the when I went into the work for, we were fraternity brothers, so when I went to work for them when I was looking for a job, I have a very broad background.
You're not the only person.
So when I went to work for him, you know, I got into the market right at the downturn. So I looked at his books and what he's doing, and I said, "You're missing a big load of business." And I said, "We need to focus on this," which was property management, because there were a lot of was kind of like term landlords by default. They can't sell their house. They've been transferred, whatever, can't sell their house. So we put together a program. I grew it up to 250 homes that we managed. And a couple of years ago, I spoke to him and I said, all right, the market's starting to turn. We need to really build a sales division. And I was doing sales. I was a member of COP's Multimillionaire Club for the last 5 years. So I was still doing sales. It was a lot easier because I had a built-in pipeline of sales, but I was still selling for friends and clients. And he didn't want to do it. I tried, and finally I said, the market's too good to not transition. And that's all our business is transitioning. And so I told Sherry I was doing that, and she's like, find a place, and so I started interviewing, and that's when I made the move. You know, and it works for me. I can tell you horror stories, selling you pictures. of property management business. Been shoots, been sued, had a gun pulled on me, had a naked guy answer the front door.
Where?
Lisa?
This is gonna be an
Wrong type for
interesting
you, man.
business.
He was
single.
No, it's still wrong type for you.
Okay.
It was off of Ponce.
How old was he?
Hey, that's where I live.
How old
Yeah.
is he?
Thompson Wood.
Okay, he's too young for you. He might be old enough for me.
Again, y'all are the wrong.
You're not listening to him.
We're joking.
You're not ready. You're not
They
ready.
didn't pick up.
That's been my biggest deterrent to getting like rental property.
What'd you say?
That's been my biggest deterrent to getting rental property, because like my husband doesn't want to have to deal with it. I know a woman who's very successful. She's got like 30 properties that she's gotten, and she does it full time. But she said she's got some. I hate to say it, they're like Southwest Atlanta, but she's built a friendship with a couple of guys who can work, like, you know, intimidate people, and she brings them with her, like
Well,
bouncers.
it's so
Interesting.
Hey,
it's
eat or be eaten, either way you want to go. You know?
so you know that's why you pay. That's it's why you may want to do a property management company. I mean, so
You said you were scared.
what'd you say?
It sounded like you were a little scared though.
Oh, there were properties that we would not go unless by yourself, areas of town. We had them noted, there are certain properties that you would only go between 10 and 2. And you had to be gone by 2 o'clock. And you asked me why 2 o'clock? Kids get off the bus at 2:30. And those kids are not normal kids. I mean, when I say it, I hate to say it, there's certain areas, a white guy by himself, or a white lady, or even a lady, those kids just, and they're not all bad, but it's those 3 that are together
Yeah.
that are bad. Whatever, it doesn't matter what color you are, it's just,
Yeah.
we
Well,
went-
I understand because my kids are having problems on the school bus. Not my kids, but
yeah, it's
their
just,
school bus is out of control, so I can imagine.
and it also doesn't matter what your, so real quick, and then we're gonna start in my comments about back. We rented a house in Buckhead. We rented for $5,500 a month, right? So you're thinking if it's renting for $5,500 a month, the person would have some sort of understanding about respect, right? So I went to do the inspection. Downstairs was clean. I mean, it wasn't perfect, right? Went upstairs. And there's these holes cut out in all the doors up on the thing. I looked at the guy and I said, "What happened?" He says, "What do you mean?" You know, like I'm in the room. I said, "What happened?" He goes, "Oh, this way my dog can go in and out of whatever room they want."
What?
He had a little Pekingese, whatever they call them. He had cut doors at the bottom of every door. And I looked at him and I was like, this is not your property.
Exactly.
He's like, "I'll replace it." I'm like, "You're not taking care of the property. What else are you not doing?" Fortunately enough for us, the company he worked for had co-signed the lease. So I called the owner and I said, "This is just," and he'd only been there a couple of months. I said, "We got to get him out." He goes, "Who's paying?" I said, "We got to." When I sent him the pictures, he was horrified. And so I called him up and I said, "You're in violation." He said, "Because destruction, not taking care of it." "Well, you can't kick me out." So I called the company the HR person, and she's like, "Well, you can't evict him. We're paying." And I was like, before you start yelling at me, let me just send you these pictures. She called me back. She goes, "We'll have them out in 30 days, and we'll pay the lease until you find somebody new, and just send us a bill for all the charges." Okay.
That's a process in itself.
So it doesn't matter whether you're renting an $800 house or a $5,000 house. You can't teach. That's your mama brought you up teaching you that. That has nothing to do with how much money you make or how little money you make. We had Section 8 homes. When I managed it, you'd eat off the floor in areas that, not the best part of Atlanta. And I've been in areas that are the best part of Atlanta, and I felt like I had to take a shower after I left the house. So, okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is sphere of influence. So, somebody tell me what sphere of influence is?
Everybody in
Family, neighbors.
Everybody you
Friends.
know, trust you, may do business with you, may not do business with you. So we're going to do, all right, so let me ask you this. How many people do you know? 50, 100, 200? What do you think? How many people do you know? What's the average? What do you think?
50.
50,
100,
100?
How well?
the average.
I'm just saying people you know. I'm not saying these are the people that are going to invite you to dinner. How many people do you know?
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah.
Hundreds? Okay. So the average, if you really think about it, about 150 that you know. Okay, we have Facebook friends, we have LinkedIn friends, we got, you know, I'm in a bowling league, even though I can't bowl, and there's, you know, and I know some of these people, but they're not my sphere. They're not some, you know, not yet, hopefully they will. You know, all right, so everybody here on Facebook?
Yes.
Everybody, how many friends do you have on Facebook? Do you think?
I have 400.
400,000? You don't know them all, do you?
Well, I'm college friends.
Okay, so 1,000, all right, so 1,000.
About 200, I don't know.
You don't know, right? Look,
I do.
you know how many, you know how
The
many.
number of people in this class.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this is something that we're gonna get into Facebook that I'm trying to do better. So what I'm trying to get at is the 150 people you know, the 1,000 people on Facebook, the 500 people on LinkedIn, right? I mean, I'm friends with people on LinkedIn. I don't even know who they are, but because someone saw this and then somebody's friends with this and now they're LinkedIn with me, I never turn down a LinkedIn. Don't ever turn down a LinkedIn, right? You may get a spam here and there. All they're seeing is your LinkedIn page, right? Because they're looking to see who you're connected with and maybe you can find a job, right? I mean, I think I have I probably have 700, 800 people in LinkedIn I couldn't tell you that I don't know. I mean, I know probably I could recognize 250 names on top of that, but just because, for whatever reason, I live in Atlanta, they're connected.
So you're saying you never turn down a
If somebody sends me a LinkedIn request, unless it's really like some fishy, like, you know, I have realtors on there, I have mortgage people. And like, there was one day I said, you know, I wanted to be friends with you, and it was some weird thing. All right, so I said no. But I would say that's 1 out of 50 on LinkedIn. Now, Facebook is different. Because think about it, and we'll go over this in a minute. LinkedIn is a business professional page, right? You're not posting pictures of your family. You're not posting pictures of your children. There's really not a whole lot of information that they can get from you, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You're not, versus Facebook, Instagram, you know, Facebook, you're putting your kids up there, your grandkids, you know. But LinkedIn, if you think about it, if you go to LinkedIn right now, it's business articles. So no, very rarely do I turn in a LinkedIn request. Because that's just me, because they may be, you and I could become LinkedIn friends, right? And then your college buddy from New Hampshire is looking for a job at Cox, right? And so when they typed in Cox, your name, because you're first person, right? And then I'm the next person that's going to say, I'm friends with you, right? And because I know Andy, who's vice president at Cox, he's going to be the third town. So your friend may not contact you, but it's going to contact me directly and say, I'm friends with Celine. I want to be, you know. And then the next request is always, can you introduce me to him? Well, I don't know who you are. Now, that's a different request. Somebody says, can you introduce me? I want to say, well, you need to call me or give me your number because I want to know something. I'm not going to take you, who I don't know, and say, hey, Andy, you know, so-and-so wants, you know, is looking for a job. Can you help him out? Well, how do you know him? I don't want to just, we don't know who this person is. So that's a different thing. But if it's just a LinkedIn, yes, absolutely. It also grows your sphere of influence. Okay, so we're going to do a little competition here. I'm going to do a little memory jogger. So what I have to help you out. So turn the page, it should be 22, is that right? Talks about your turn, sphere of influence, immediate family, how it, boom, 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 right? We're going to spend 10 minutes in a minute, and we're going to write down as many people that you can think of. Immediate families, doctors, nurses, veterinarians, your Uber driver, your Uber food person. So I'm going to give you this. This is, nobody start, we're all doing this together. So this is a memory jogger, so you can look at this, and this is going to come up with, to help you think of names to put down. So everybody hold off, and we do this all together. There you go. All right, so we're gonna spend, let's do about 8-10 minutes because we're a little behind schedule. And let's go ahead and do that and write down as many people as you can in your sphere. And we're gonna have a little contest to see who can come up with the most.
Where should we write it? Just
And on page, you can do it on a separate sheet of paper, or page 20, I think it's 22, should have, in your notebook,
Yeah,
should have room.
right, whole time.
Or you can write it next to here if you want, wherever you want, just
Okay.
wherever you want. Hey. No, I'm teaching a class right now. I'll leave in the morning. Are we updated? Your phone's working? No, there's some padding you put between it, but make sure you delete everything off your phone. Okay, but I mean, make sure all your apps. Okay. All right, perfect. I'll call you later. Love you. Bye. Bye. Okay, so hopefully this is kind of help of who you thought your sphere was. I mean, there's a lot of things on here. So who got more than 10? All right, good. Everybody's got more than 10. Who's got more than 20? 30? 35?
I might have cheated.
I might have cheated too. I'm at 63.
Okay, 63.
I wrote, I need to tap into my husband's network. I haven't even touched that yet. Like people who he knows that I know.
Okay, well, the sphere of influence is your husband, not his.
Right, but there's people that I know that I just,
Okay, so
like maybe
what, all right,
we
so we have
play
six,
tennis together,
so
but they're not in my
63,
contacts.
65,
Right.
around there. Okay. So the whole purpose of this activity is hopefully to think outside of who you think of that can be your sphere. So somebody tell me, what was one that you didn't think of until you saw this list, or that maybe, or an aha, said, oh, I didn't think about that. Something that's not the doctor, not the mom, not the father, the son, the brother, the uncle. Okay, what you got?
Property manager.
Property manager. Okay, that's a good sphere of influence. Anybody else come up with a different one? Something that is unique.
I have the list of people that I used to sell cars to. That everyone that I ever sold a car to, I sold cars for about a year and a half over in Smyrna.
Okay.
So that's kind of a list that I have put into my database that's kind of, I would say, unique, but.
Okay, so let's take, that is potentials. We're talking about sphere of influence. When I mean sphere of influence, this is somebody, your immediate, kind of more of your immediate sphere, somebody that knows you, likes you, and refer business to you is more of what your sphere is. This helps you think of people to call, but your sphere is, I can pick up the phone and say, hey, Travis, I am looking for a cook. Who do you know? Because you know that your sphere. Or Travis picks up the phone, hey, Eddie, I'm looking for a landscaper. That's kind of, so the car people, that's great. That's not,
I see what you're saying.
that's a lead. Now we're trying to talk more about trying to define that lead more into a sphere. Who do you think is going to refer you? You know, we have the old 80-20 rule, right? You know, out of our database, 20% is going to give us, you know, our business. Same here. So we're trying to get into our sphere. Somebody else anybody have a chiropractor? Anybody go to a chiropractor? Acupuncturist? Massage therapy? Okay. I'm just but I mean,
joking, I'm
okay,
joking.
you know, okay, but I'm reasoning. So these are sphere. Your doctor?
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't consider those people to be my sphere. I don't think that they're going to.
They're not. I'm just trying to see who might.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
ask
call
you
it a
about-
sphere either.
Sure,
I'd call it-
okay.
Like
Yeah.
people like a doctor, it's like they have this whole stance of privacy. So for me to approach them, it just feels weird. Any suggestions on how to overcome that?
Okay, so
What is it? A
Are you-
monkey in my, what is it?
you got a drum monkey on the shoulder.
Yeah.
So if you picked up the phone and called your doctor, are you on a relationship that you could say, do you say, hey, Dr. Levin, or do you say, hey, Eddie?
It's always doctor, whoever.
I mean, but your relationship, you're not asking him to go into his database and send you the names. You're have a contact with this sphere who has a contact that is going to say, you know, we're thinking about moving. You know, do you have an office in Stockbridge? And he's like, you know, I don't, but I have a friend. By the way, I have a great friend that's a real estate agent. That's your sphere. Does that?
Yeah.
So when I was kind of going through the list, I mean,
Old doctor.
I'm not saying that the list of cars is not a sphere. That's a leads. So I was kind of going through this thing, and I was like, all these people. Okay, my insurance agent, you know, and I was like, my barber. I go over here and it's $12, but I always go to the same Great Clips, and I always see the same lady. I like it because for some reason I feel like it's not like I have a lot of hair to cut. I don't manscape. It's just like. But so the last time I got my hair cut, I had said to her, we started talking, and she has now become in my sphere. She's referred me 3 people. I ended up giving them to other agents because it was Covington, and I'm not going to Covington, right? But I never really thought about her being in my sphere. Really never. Hey, how's everything? I always ask for our grandkids are like. And hey, how stupid was I? I didn't have her in my database, right? But I've been going to her. We started talking. She's in my database now. She's sent me 3 referrals that I have turned around and said, look, I don't do Covington. I have a friend, an agent that does. She didn't know that he's not in my personal team. Keller Williams agent. I put out on the wall. I put out here. I need an agent that isn't. A bunch of agents call me. I talk to them. Sent them. So that now she's in my sphere. That's what we're trying to talk about. That aha of, okay, this thing is, the car dealership is perfect. The finance guy at the car could become your sphere. You know what I'm saying? It's we all think of our father, our mother, our the priest, your insurance agent. Think kind of sometimes outside how to make that person your sphere. That's what I'm looking at. This is great to keep because you just go through. And it's great for your leads because you start thinking about people that you didn't think about, like your car guy, all your car people. That's perfect, right?
Well, I've already got trust. I mean, I've already
right. I'm just saying,
phone, so
right?
yeah.
That's great. So if you had if you had another job and you didn't think, boom, heard it again. Even if you hadn't talked to him in 5 years, you start sending him a card, you start sending him an email, and then you'll build up the confidence to call him if you don't have it. If the email bounces back, then you have to pick up the phone and call them because you have the wrong email. So, because most people don't get rid of their cell phones, but they get rid of their email. Okay, we got to move fast because we only got an hour. I know it seems, and I still. So next thing is this is kind of important. I'm gonna try to do that so y'all. Time blocking 3 on 3. Formula for this time blocking discipline is called the 3-3. It stands for 3 things done in 3 hours. Prepare, take action, and maintain. Okay. Our job, as you take Ignite and everything else, is to, once you're out of here, is to prepare you to get into a good system to do the same things over and over, right? Take action and then maintain. So, preparing, what would you do? Just like you would do if you were lead generating on your own, now we're going to talk about preparing, take action, and maintaining. So we're going to prep the call list. We're going to say affirmatives, the whys. Let me shut the door. I thought you were bringing us lunch.
I know, I'm just like, wow.
I was getting all excited. I'm going to have to follow her and find out where the lunch went. There's enough of us to take her. So prepare. You have 3 hours. Call list. First hour you're preparing, your second hour you're taking action, third hour you're maintaining. Prepare your list. Focus on the big why. Why am I calling this person? What is our goal? What is your goal? Let's show you his goal. Get more business. And practice scripts. If we talk about hoping we have time to get back to scripts. One thing that I had to overcome was learning the scripts. And once you learn it, you don't think of them as scripts anymore. And it just comes off the back. We were door knocking, Sam and I, the other day. Knocked on the door and he was talking, and he, did a little spiel, and then she looked, she goes, and if this lady was 80, okay, any younger than 80, I'll be shocked. I mean, just, she goes, I'm with Atlantic Communities. And so we started talking, and and she said, that's what I used to do. And so we said, are you still with Atlantic Communities? She goes, yeah, I still got my license. So as we walked away, I joked, I said, our script should have been, well, why don't you come join us at Keller Williams? You've obviously been doing it for so long. I mean, but as you practice scripts, you come across objections and don't realize them. I can recommend if you know somebody that's you're friends with, or if you're not friends with, pick one and say to each other, every Monday, y'all, is it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day scripts, whatever day, I know exactly. Pick another day and say, for an hour we're going to practice scripts, going back and forth. I do that with another Keller Williams agent. He's First Atlanta. And we talk once a week, pep talk. We kind of know each other. Are you going door knocking? We kind of accountability type thing. Even though Sam and I are partner Bjorn, it's somebody else that I'm not with every day. That's to me, going to be a little bit more honest, because Sam and I see each other constantly, and Bjorn all day. They might say, Eddie, you're not doing the script right. Or they will, but so I have another Keller Williams agent that I practice scripts with. So I recommend it. That's preparing. Take action. We're going to prospect or we're going to update our database and maintain. So this next video we watched, it's really funny. These guys are really successful. Now they do pay for a calling list. They do one of the services. Some people, as I said, if you're good on the phone, this is a good service, but you know, our goal is until you get up and running, you're not spending a lot of money. What can you do to build it and then grow? But let's just watch these guys. It's called the Real Estate Brothers.
Cool. So I'll say where we're from and then you give production list. Is that all right? Hi, my name is Dylan Bravache.
I'm Sean Bravache.
We're from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We're the Real Estate Brothers.
2014, we wrote 72 transactions for $47 million.
Sean and I are very lucky because we're actually fairly entrepreneurial in sales. So we were able to just sort of survive by luck and by just sort of being likable and nice.
We had a decent business that wasn't growing.
We did a lot of door knocking originally, but what we found was with bad weather, plus you have to drive to door knock, it was just too much of a wild card.
If we were to grow the business, we needed to add people to our database, and if we were going to do that, we needed a systematic way that we knew we could achieve results that were predictable. So we just kind of started cold calling.
About 3 hours a day, and we found that the results were phenomenal.
Come take a look where we've been this whole time.
We can literally do it from your kitchen.
It's just more time effective.
Yeah.
If you're cheap like we are, you don't want to spend a ton of money on the web or in print. Telephone lines, you pay a monthly bill and you can call all you want. One of you come in here and show you the cold calling room. We've got a map where we've broken the entire city into zones. We like to target areas where we have buyers.
It's been scrubbed to the do not call list, and it still represents over 250,000 phone numbers. All of our desks have 3 monitors. We have Mojo in the middle, we have our scripts on the right, and then on the left,
Do some research on the house they're calling for, stuff like that. Cold calling is like adding jet fuel to your car or something. Like it pumps your business up.
we went from making,
What was our first year? Like 70K, and then this year together we did $1.1 million. So
This is Sean calling from the Real Estate Brothers. You know what, I'm so sorry about you today, but I just noticed that
you have to treat cold calling as though it's an appointment. If you don't prioritize it, things will always find their way in and block you from being able to do it. It's the most important thing you can do for your business.
absolutely most important, and you have to quantify it as well. The bold 100 contacts a week is a really, really cool way
To set a bar.
To set a bar and get started and stick to it, whatever your decision is. I was just wondering, has anything changed in your plans? Are you still thinking this straight to get it on the market?
You can't think today was a bad cold calling day, because today doesn't matter. What matters is what you accomplish in a year. And if you just keep adding people to your database and systematically follow up with them and take care of the people who you work for, you'll do great.
You're not always going to have great success every day, but it's by doing it every day that you have great success.
we're going to be in the neighborhood for the next 2 weeks giving free evaluations. You know what I'd love to do?
I'll say too that one thing that we were afraid of, and I think everyone is just the rejection side of things. People being mean to you on the phone. And we have this saying with our team that you're either part of our future or part of our past, and either way it's fine. The people who are rude to us are obviously not going to be part of our future.
Have a chuckle about it. Like, honestly, when someone cusses at me or something, I just laugh because it's funny.
And do you think that it might make sense for us to book something tentatively for the weekend?
The more time you spend not on the phone, you're losing money, because that 3 hours of my day is my 20% where I make my money.
Don't get ready to start thinking about how you're going to eventually do something. Just do it. Like,
Just do
get
it.
done.
Stop watching this video, get off your butt and go start dialing numbers and talking to people. Just get on the phone.
Yeah, and if you hate money, don't do it.
Yeah.
So I love that you're either part of our future or part of our past. And that's kind of what we talked about earlier, is gotta get over that fear of rejection. I mean, I still have it. You always will. I mean, I shouldn't say always will, but some people you just gotta do it. So let's, as we're talking about preparing, and whether it's you're calling your sphere, whether you're calling your neighbors, referrals, whatever, you're prepared. You're going to take 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, whatever it takes you to prepare for the next day. So does everybody understand the meaning of just listed, a home that's just listed? Mm-hmm. Does everybody mean by coming soon, just listed? Okay,
What are you asking?
I'm just asking in general, make sure to kind of understands the terminology, what just listed means.
Oh, yeah,
okay. Just sold. You know, you see signs just sold. Does everybody knows what an allied resource is?
Allied Resource?
So I think it's next Tuesday or the following Tuesday, we're having our vendor meeting, right? These are our resources. On the back of the wall, Certainty shares a mortgage person, that's a resource. RIA is home inspections, they're a resource, they're valuable. Those are resources, because you have to have your resources, because when you start talking to people, they're gonna ask you, you know, I'm so glad you called. Do you know a plumber? Do you know somebody, appliance guy? Do you know, those are your those are the list of resources you want. If you don't have a vendor list, I can get it for you, so you can get it of the vendors that this office already has. If there's somebody, if you need somebody that's not on there, Stacy can get it, I can get it. There's plenty of people that can give you a recommendation. You can go on the Rawls group. Has anybody signed up for the Rawls group Facebook page? Just, there's what, 2 or 3 of them, I can't, one's just for listings, one's for it's amazing what you can learn and what people are asking for. And then expired, does everybody know what an expired is? And everybody knows what a withdrawn listing is. Does everybody know what the difference between an expired and a withdrawn?
The seller decided to not list his house anymore?
So expired is when you write up your contract, you're gonna say you're gonna list it from
90 days.
Whatever, 90 days. In the 90 days it expires, it doesn't sell. A withdrawn could be anything. You may have gotten the listing and then, God forbid, maybe somebody passed away or somebody got sick or whatever the case, and they may just withdraw it. They may go back. One thing that, and I don't know what Brad's policy or Keller Williams or the Rawls group is. If I'm calling on an expired listing, and I know it's a Keller Williams listing, I'm picking up the phone and saying, hey Ryan, I noticed that 123 Main Street expired. Are you relisting it? You know, that's my courtesy. I'm not saying you have to do it, but I want to build relationships because this is a small knit community. Keller Williams does more sales in between each other, and the last thing I want to do is piss off another Keller Williams agent if I'm going to be in between a sale down the road. I don't know if there's a direct policy. You can do what you want. I just think that, you know, they may say, Eddie, you don't want to work with them. You know, they may say, oh yeah, I am relisting it. You'll start seeing emails from Lynn LaCroix, do not call relisting. It expired, but they're relisting. There may be a reason. So that's just kind of mine. So, you know, what is it, page 24, referral spheres, because I want to get through, rehearse scripts. Then want to take action. Get your database out, start calling. Just like these guys said, what did they say? Just do it. Just get going and do it. And then maintaining. Every phone call you get off of, gotta write it. Maybe not for you. I don't have a perfect mind. I have to write down. What did we talk about? What is my follow-up? Boom. Track the results. Okay, I've talked to Karen every day for a month or 2 years. She has never sent me a referral. I'm going to cut her back maybe every 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But make sure. And if you promise to send something, like an agent yesterday promised me, concierge agent at One River Place, we were with my client, Sharon Property. She gave her my business card, and I said to her, she said, I'm going to send you the floor layout, and I'm also going to send you the agent's name that has a house that's coming up for sale that's not on the market. She said, I'll get that to you in about 10 minutes. Okay? I haven't gotten it yet. If you're going to promise something, follow up, please. Don't be that agent that doesn't. It's just, it makes your life easier.
Excuse me a minute, but
Yes.
speaking of following up, does that tracker or I know Keller Command is going to prompt you for those follow-ups, right? I mean, right now I put something on my calendar. If I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I put it on my calendar, or a to-do list. But in our systems,
I don't know how Command is gonna, from my understanding is if you open up Command and you make a note, there's a tracker feature. If you sync your Gmail with it, it'll track every time you touch them. I'm gonna push that off to Stacy and Diane, because I'm not really sure. I'm using eEdge, and I also use Google. I use a Google Calendar.
Okay.
What works for you? I mean,
Yeah.
there's tons of out there, but
That's helpful though.
got to find out what works for
Yeah.
you.
So
what-
those are the only CRMs that you use? Is you just use eEdge and use
Google.
Google, or you don't use anything like Constant Contact or Mojo or any of these?
Well, Mojo is a phone dialer.
Right.
I also, as you talking about as far as sending things out to people, or as follows where I track their name and information. Because Constant Contact is when you're emailing out and you're making a flyer or something like that.
Just a general CRM for that tracks all of your touches and tells like lets you set up your campaigns or reminds you, this is the call list.
I use eEdge in my Google database. There's other agents that use Buffini, and you can spend $1,000 on different CRMs. You got to find what works for you. Command, once it's up from everything they say, it's going to do it all. It's just not there yet. And Stacy, and then we'll go over it. I do use, like if I'm sending out something, like if I take an article or something, I have another program called Keep It Current that is a blog for me, and I use that with, it's not SurveyMonkey, I have to look it up, but it's like Constant Contact. I think the first 1,500 or 2,000 emails are free. But most of it is through eEdge, because I have them on the drip campaign, I have them on 8x8s, I have them on the long term. So that works for me. So that's what I do. So I think we've gone over, I think prospecting opportunities, I'm kind of going to push on from there because I said we're running out of time and I want to get on some stuff. But prospecting sources, door knocking, farming, for sale by owners, everybody knows what for sale by owner is in the acronym, expired or withdrawn, open houses, agent referrals, and social media. Those are prospecting sources, and circle those, hint, hint, circle those. We do door knocking. We do farming. One of the things that is not on here that I do and that you'll hear other people do, or have anybody heard of Popeyes? Anybody know what Popeyes are?
Yeah.
So,
Mia told us yesterday.
huh?
Yeah.
Mia.
Popeyes.
Oh, Mia's great.
Yeah, she talked
Yeah,
about it
so-
yesterday.
Everybody see?
I was wondering what that was about.
So this is my Valentine's Popeye. Go to the dollar store and they have 3 different sizes. I actually gave out all the smaller ones. I recommend buying the smaller ones because they sold a lot of candy. The smaller ones sold less candy. Pop 2 holes in there, right? Put a little rubber band through. Goes on the doorknob. We open it up. When we use the big one, we put a bag of, went to Costco and got goldfish to stuff this, because if not, you're pouring bags of candy. My card. And I go and I put it, my top 100 referrals. Put it on their door. I knock on the door, hopefully if they're home, you get a few minutes to talk. If not, there's people take pictures, text it, Facebook it.
Are those people you know?
These are
people you already know.
These are
right?
my people that I'm going after because they're a good referral
Okay.
source.
So when you just now starting off, how do you handle the Popeye? I mean, how do you do them? Because nobody's like.
Do you have 10 people you know that if someone said, I'm looking for a real estate agent, do you know 10 people that your name would come top of mind?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay, there's your first 10.
Gotcha.
These are the people that are giving. These are not people. These are people that are good referral sources for you. You're prospecting them in a different way. You're finding business through them. They're the ones that are sitting at the holiday party that you're not at, and someone says, "Oh, we're thinking about buying. We're getting out of our house, downsizing." They're the ones that you got to talk to Eddie. That's who I do my Popeyes with. Plus, of course, all my clients. Either if they bought, sell, or I'm working on them. All my clients do, because clients turn into, if you do a good job, your best referral source. And if they're not if I'm working with them now, they're still a client, correct? They're a client. We may not have bought or sold anything, so they're included in that. There's some agents that do them every month. I typically try to do them every quarter. We'll do something for Mother's Day. This is one of my Popeyes football season. This one, I'm running out of time, so I really gotta talk. So go to Costco and you buy popcorn, right? And if you do it two ways, this particular card says, we sold a house in the neighborhood, so I went to all the neighbors in it, saying just popping by. You have to ask your client for permission. Just popping by to say you have new neighbors. Oh, sorry, this is
Cool. That's a good idea.
okay, and it's on there, and on the back, and I had permission. Say hello to your new neighbor, their name, their phone number. They gave me permission. Okay, and I put it on there, stapled it, and I went to all the houses in the neighborhood. Now, let me break back. I don't know if we hit all of them, but we hit the boxes. There are, I think, 80 popcorn things each. We hit 160 homes in that neighborhood. Most of the people weren't there, and it wasn't about me. Michael and Rebecca said they had people calling, when are you moving in, and is there anything you need that you can help? Welcome to the neighborhood. It made them feel. Michael and Rebecca, and I'm not a huge Facebook person, went on Facebook, took a picture of what I did, and said, my agent made us friends by telling people we were coming in the neighborhood.
That's a nice thing
That's
to
a
do.
really great
That's it.
idea.
It's a touch. It's how you build business. Okay. For sale by owners, right? What is a sale by owner? How many? What is it?
The owner is selling
Owner selling? Okay.
for sale by owner.
They're motivated, right? Because they're selling their home. I don't know the exact NAR figure, but it's way up there. Most of your sale by owners are your next clients.
But
Yeah.
if they are for sale by owner, they don't necessarily have, they're not in FMLS, is that right? They might be on Zillow.
They'll be on Zillow. If they're doing for sale by owner. Now, some of them pay these third-party listing companies, and you'll see them in the FMLS. Do not contact us. We're a listing agent only, and they pay a fee. Basically, kind of like a Duffy. I mean, truly, what a Duffy is for sale by owner. The Duffy takes it to a next step and makes the contract go through them before it goes to the agent. But when you deal with a Duffy, it's basically for sale by owner. You're doing all the work. But what is it? Here it is. NAR estimates that about 9% of homes that are sold by owners. So that means only 9% are sold. That's 91% that's going to need an agent because they got to sell it. I don't have it with me, but if y'all want to see it, I have a booklet that I carry, a little pack that I carry with me, and if I see it for sale by owner, I'll stop the car and I'll ring the doorbell or knock on the door and say, look, here's some information. I don't have a chance to talk to you just yet, but I'll call you tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll walk away. And then I follow up. And y'all know how to get the phone numbers for sale by owners when you pull up, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Most people said, someone said to me, well, how did you get their phone number? It's, again, now if you want to sit and talk, you can do that. But it gives a sense of urgency. Or I'll go by and say, look, I came by to drop off some information that might help you, but no one was there. How are you showing your home? Little things like that. Again, we're running out of time, so I don't, yes?
So do you search their phone number on the do not call list first, or you just call?
Does that even exist anymore? I've been getting so many phone calls.
The do not call list does exist, and you must follow it, but if it's for sale by owner, it's not on the do not call list because it's public knowledge because it's on the street.
Where do we get the do not call list here in the office?
I don't know. I have, there's a service, a land voice service that I use, that I pay for, and they're supposedly scrubbed.
You can call the.
But there is, Stacy might know, I don't know.
You can go onto a federal website and put that number in, it'll tell you if they're on it or not.
Right.
But see, my understanding is that the office also has one, because you have your own business, so then you're kind of working,
Yeah.
but if we're independent working through the office.
They might, I don't know.
I think we need to check.
Stacy can answer that question. Okay, expires and withdrawals. They're a great source of business. Why? Why are they a great source of business?
Because they were trying to sell their house.
They were motivated. So what are typically 3 common reasons homes don't sell?
Overpriced, not good condition.
Well, condition and not good condition is condition, typically. And what's the third, or the second? 1, 2, 3? Got price, condition?
Unreasonable seller.
That's...
They don't have enough client source. Did they put it at wrong place?
Marketing. If you're not, if you're not marketing, the agent that had it before, the whole trick, they always say the second agent in always usually gets to sell, because you'll go in and you'll say to them, look, this house is only worth, the comp show, only worth $450. And as new agents, what are you going to say when they say, I really want to sell this for $500? And you're going to say, okay, because you want the listing, right? You want the listing, so you're going to say, okay, we're going to do it. Now, unless you have a game plan of, and there's a whole other section of this, I don't want to get into it, of if it doesn't, we don't, after 10 showings, no offers or whatever, we don't know the price. As long as if they agree to it, do it. But if not, odds are, you told them it's $450, but you gave in and they put it at $5. When your listing expires, that next agent's going to come in and say, this house needs to be in $450. And what are they going to think? Someone else told me that, but I can't remember who. And they're going to move on. So that's always good. So expireds are good, withdrawals are good, because they had a motivation. There was a pain. There was something that wanted to make them sell. Could have been price, could have been condition, could have been unrealistic expectation. Whatever the case may be. But now you're in there, and you found out what their pain was because you're asking the right questions. You're asking, tell me, what did the agent before do that you liked? What didn't you like? What was the feedback? Was it price? And then you can go in and prepare your marketing to them. Open houses. How many of y'all been to open houses? Okay, go to as many open houses as you can. Find an agent that's doing an open house if you've never done an open house. Ask them if you can shadow them. Learn the procedures. There are agents in here that do open houses really good. Then there's agents always in here that are asking, looking for people to do open houses. Volunteer, of course. It's the best way to meet prospects and new people. But I recommend that you at least shadow somebody so you understand, when do they put the signs out? Where do they put them? What do they ask? What do they do? What do they drink? All of that. One thing that you need to make sure that you know about open house, some counties don't allow balloons. And guess who gets fined if the county's going around and they see the balloons? So you'll notice in Sandy Springs that there are a lot of the spinners. There's little, as a kid you blew on them. They put those on the sign so you can't have balloons. And if they're out, okay, some counties don't allow you to put the signs out before 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock on Friday. Some of them you have to have them picked up before, make sure you know the rules, because the last thing you want to do is get a fine or a ticket, because guess who's responsible? You. The agent's going to come to you and say, you did the open house, you didn't follow the rules, I ain't paying, Make sure you know wherever the county is. And there's a lot of counties. You could be in Covington, you could be in Stockbridge, you could be in, just make sure so you don't get in trouble. Feedback forms, have feedback forms. Get their information. Don't just let them come in the house. If they come in the house, make sure you have a feedback, something. For the security of my owner and for myself, I need you to sign in. If they don't want to sign in, they really don't need to be in the house. I mean, depending, it doesn't matter whether you're in the nicest part of Atlanta or the worst part of Atlanta. If you're by yourself and people walk in and they're not willing to sign in and at least give you their name and number and a phone number or an email, you may not want them walking through your house.
And then how do you know, somebody could easily write down something bogus.
They can. Most people, though, that are coming to open houses are they either live in the neighborhood, they want to know what it's selling for, they're really looking for a house. And you always want to ask them. And if they say, I have an agent, and you say, great, what is your agent's name? And they stumble, or they say, Okay, real quick, because I always let the agent know, so do you have a card? And then what's your agent's name? Make sure you get that information, because that's good building rapport. And if they don't have an agent, let them do the thing. Make sure you talk to them about and know the area. So if you're doing an open house in Sandy Springs and you really don't know the area, search the area, search the neighborhood. So if someone said, oh, this house doesn't work for me because I really need a master on the main, you know, this one's not available, but I can take you at 5 o'clock after, if I can get in. It's a great one for sale that's around the corner. Master main is $495. You become the expert. 10 minutes of work before you go do it. Whether you ever do that area again, because it's not about selling the house you're doing the open house for, it's about building your database and finding the next client.
Doesn't that Kelly app do that? I mean, you could be on an open house and
Yeah,
just
the Kelly app does it, but
report
if you can spit out that
yeah.
there's a house with a master main around the corner, the house over here with a pool, there's a,
So you just research the area before
oh
you go?
yeah, the neighborhood,
With
everything.
FMLS or
Oh, ML,
Kelly,
yeah. Circle prospecting,
Beforehand.
circle around the area. Because if somebody is looking in Dunwoody, they may be open to Sandy Springs, maybe Brookhaven and Chamblee. That's all right, that's why they want to be there. They're not going to say to you, oh, well, we're really looking in Covington or Stockbridge or Atlanta. They're going to be in that area. And it's a great conversation. All of a sudden you're like, and even if it's somebody in the neighborhood, they may ask a question. Oh, well, I heard my neighbors, I heard there's a neighbor selling their house for $485. Actually, they are. It's around the corner, but it has a pool, this, and this. You become the expert. And then they're going to remember, because now they have your card, and they're going to say, oh my God, that person knew this area back and forth. I'm ready to sell my house. Boom. So know the area.
Another way they were saying how you can get people to sign is to maybe have like a gift card and do like a little drawing, or you say.
Yeah, there are people, you'll see Berkshire Hathaway does iPad giveaway. Open house Sunday, iPad giveaway. Well, they're giving one iPad away for the entire city. Mm-hmm. People think it's that one house, right? Because that sign says open house iPad giveaway. The reality is they're taking all those names and one agent's thing is being, each house is not giving an iPad away. I mean, if they were, I'd take off my name pad every day and I would go to every one of those, you know. So.
Well, it was more or less to get them to sign in, and it was like a gift card to like Starbucks.
If that works for you, I'm not of one to be giving away my money to get somebody to do something they should do when they walk in, because the way for your safety and procedures. But again, everybody does it different. I mean, I do have drinks. I take small water bottles. I put my label around them, my name, you know. Yes?
Can you serve alcoholic beverages, like little glasses of wine to walk around with?
That's get expensive.
If you're doing, there are some agents in here that have done open houses and they do serve wine and cheese and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I haven't, because again, the average open house, they're there for 10, 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. A bottle of water is 25 cents, a bottle of wine. Then God forbid, what happens if they spill it in the house, or they drink a glass and then they pull out of the neighborhood and they get pulled over, and they're like, well, she gave it, you know.
Or they bring kids in.
You know, kids are running around. Like, you'll see people that, like, if you ever do during the summer, there'll be, you may do hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever out on the driveway. Don't let them in the house. Don't let the kids, because that one hot dog, the ketchup on that white couch, and guess who is, I mean, there's ways, yes. I'm not saying no. People have done it. I don't do it. Follow up with the agent that you did the open house with. Give them feedback before they ask, because you don't know what their client's expecting. I love it when somebody does an open house for me, and I know the open house ended at 5, and I get a text, and they say, I'm going to pick up signs quickly. We had 7 people, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to send you everything. You know, so if I can call my client, I had a great open house, just to give you an update. 7 people, the agent's cleaning up, fitting up, then they're gonna send me more information. Boom, boom, boom. Now I have a reason to call. Follow up. Plus, agents will use you again because you follow up. Social media reading based on it. Agents, you know, like I said, I didn't want to help. I'm not driving to Covington. Posted on Rawls Group, found some agents. You know, agents referrals, I get 25% when the house closes. And all I did was, my hair stylist gave me a referral. I made the introduction, talked to them, found out their needs, passed it on. Excuse me. So now we're going to kind of get into Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which I'm going to be honest up front with. I'm not the most prolific person. I need to do better. But you do need to engage. You need to ask questions. You need to post. And you need to follow up. Everybody here that's doing Facebook, you're learning Facebook business page. It's free, create one. It takes 10 minutes. If I can do it, everybody, you can do it. You having a hard time, ask somebody here that will help you. Or if you have a kid that's that's above 8, they probably can create it for you real quick. Create a Facebook business page, okay? Post to it, post to your public, do both. Congratulate your buyers, post your listing, post your sales, post your coming soons. Tweet local news if you have it. I'm not a Twitter, I don't tweet, but an agent that's here tweeted the Dunwoody Choir is closing. And the response I saw, I get Twitter, I just don't Twitter. You know, just don't do it. I should, but I don't. Hashtags. Kids laugh at me all the time because, like, Dad, you should have been this type of hashtag. So I call my daughter and say, this is what I want to say. Would you do it? And they write it up. They do hashtag. And I've gotten into the habit of hashtag Keller Williams Atlanta Perimeter, hashtag Brad Fearman, hashtag Stacy. Why am I doing that? Why am I not only doing it, hashtag, but in inviting them, including them? Because they turn around and they get a thing. Oh, Eddie's doing something. Went to Stacy. Stacy shares it subconsciously. She doesn't think about it, but she shares it. Because what is it called when you include them, right?
Tag them.
Tag them. Thank you. Tag them. I'm learning. I see. I'm doing it. Tag, tag, tag. You can tag me because then all of a sudden I see him like, oh, he's doing open house. Boom. What do I care? Everybody wins. Okay. Pinterest, who uses Pinterest? Okay. My wife uses Pinterest. There are a lot of great things you can learn from Pinterest. People set up boards, they talk about it. I'm going to default and say, read about it on page 34 and find an agent that really does Pinterest. Instagram, post photos, brand it, show events. I'm starting to get better. When I walk into a house that I'm listing, I'm doing Instagram. My daughters are teaching me, but do it. That's the new world.
Question.
Yes.
What are the rules around pictures of houses? Because I think I've seen some people who post pictures of houses that maybe they're visiting for open house.
As long as you take the picture.
Like if you went to that open house and you said, I am visiting this great listing in Sandy Springs. I'm previewing it before it even hits the market. Don't show the address. Why do you not want to show the address?
Because you want them to call me.
You want them to call you, right.
But now if it's an occupied house, could we not?
If it's an occupied house, you really don't want to, you need to find out from the agent if they have permission because you don't want someone to break in and say, you know, blah, blah, blah.
But it's vacant, it's pretty fair vacant.
Yeah, I mean, you're inside the house, it's vacant, you know, I think you're fine. And even if it's, if you're doing an open house, you obviously have permission. Don't show don't show pictures of the kids. Don't, you know, if they have a safe, don't show the safe. You know what I'm saying? Use your judgment. And, you know, again, Instagram and Facebook, you're not on there for 5 minutes. It's a quick snapshot. You know, so what I did with Facebook, I did it and I said, Facebook Live, and I said, I'm going to see this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, this house is so spectacular, I got to just see it from my own eyes. Call me, let me bring you through it. Okay, you know, because you want them to pick up the phone. You want them to, text you, PM you. You want them to go through all that. YouTube, a lot of agents use YouTube. They post their open houses, they do videos. Again, if you have a YouTube channel, that some agents do it really well. On the site, you can pull up and you can see agents that do YouTube postings. Under the Keller Williams site, where you how to get into education and all that, and you can see different ones that do it. Y'all, I think Stacy already had y'all friend each other, didn't she? Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to come over that. Become a lead generation machine. I mean, that's what we're all about. It takes practice over time to grow in any area. So if you're farming an area, and I don't know if Stacy's gone over this or yet, it's not an overnight. When you spend the money to farm, whether you're doing it knocking on the doors, sending postcards, it's going to take 6 months, a year to get you in there. I mean, before you become the knowledge, before people, you may get one or two. I mean, best thing to do is if you ever get a listing that farm that neighborhood because they see your sign. But if you're farming, don't get frustrated if it's been a month and you have no results. 2 months, 3 months, it takes time.
Yeah, I was just talking to Terry today, and she was like, even when you do the farming, you still have to do like an 8x8.
Oh yeah,
where you just
absolutely.
Keep touching the neighborhood.
Got to keep touching them.
Keep touching it.
Got to keep touching. I called. It's a neighborhood I've been farming, and started last year. Been farming them. Called them up to the pool, and I wanted to see if I could support the swim team. I don't live in a neighborhood. I live on a street of 9 homes. I don't have a neighborhood. I don't live in a neighborhood. So I'm farming other neighborhoods. And the lady on the board, damn it. She goes, that is a great idea. She goes, I'll have to find out, the whole thing. Well, what she doesn't know is I know the reason I started farming this is I sold a friend of mine the house, and he's now on the board. And I had told him what I wanted to do, and he told me the 2 people we're in touch with. He calls me up and he says, another agent's sponsoring the swim team because the person you talked to told her agent she bought the banner. And I said, well, what are you doing for me? He goes, I'm trying to get you to have another banner. He goes, because that wasn't right. So you may have the best idea in the world. Don't get frustrated if somebody takes it. Just keep trying. I'm not giving up the neighborhood. I'm not stopping what I'm doing. Okay? Now I'm going to be a little pissed, so I'm going to go a little harder. Okay? So don't get frustrated. Keep doing it. Keep lead generating. All right, putting it all together. Talked about the action plan, right? That's it. Get your action. Work on your database. Do your 3x3. Prepare an hour, spend an hour, follow up an hour. If you have time, do it more. But prepare, follow up, and call. Get in call. Okay, what are the benefits of prospecting? It's inexpensive, maintenance, results, correct? Keep doing it. Puts you in control to fill your pipeline. You're calling the people, you're touching them. Increases your confidence and skills. Quality of leads yields quality, yield quality of leads, which yields quality. What they're saying is the more you call, the more you're going to find out better and you're going to build your pipeline. All right, tell me, and these are things, again, a lot of, we're going to go over some other things that are on the test multiple times. So who knows the 4 P's of prospecting?
Prepare, prep, call.
4 C's. Come on. Come on. Capture.
Connect, close, and cultivate.
Thank you. Time blocking. What's the first thing you do?
Prepare.
Second thing.
Take action.
Thank you. Third thing.
Maintain.
All right. Some of these things are going to be on the
Test.
Thank you.
Is that going to
Okay.
be multiple choice or what?
Yes.
Good.
But of course, if you don't remember you took your class, what do? They make the questions to seem like it's the right answer, but it's the wrong answer.
So
It's
y'all
the right
doing that?
answer,
You're
it's the
doing
wrong
that too?
answer. It's a wonderful thing. Let's see, real quick, because we got a few more minutes. Tell me, we didn't really talk about what it is. A big why. Like, why are we doing this? Why brings focus and energy? What is my why? My why is to build my database. My why is to get leads. My why is to sell. Okay, focus big, your big why, you basically big focus, big energy, right? Gary Keller's mantra. Does anybody know what Gary Keller's mantra is?
My fear of failure was greater than my fear of lead generating.
It's one of the same.
Think big, act bold.
There you go. Think big, act bold. You hear bold all the time around here. Live large. 4 powerful habits of real estate. Build and maintain your database, right? Prospect and follow up. And know your market. Those are, build and know your market. Your sphere of influence is part of your Mets, have not Mets, wish list. Which one is it?
Mets.
Mets, right. Your sphere is your Mets. That's kind of what this is. Who have you met? That's rebuilding your sphere. Prospecting is door knocking, a type of prospecting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Calling for sale by owners.
Yes. Yes.
Mail outs.
No.
Right. We talked about handwritten notes, right? 33 touches. Have we all been over that? 8 touches. Right. A contact in our world, a contact is what?
Someone we know and have information on.
A two-way conversation, I guess, is the best way. That you have a conversation. That's a contact. Prospect is or lead is not. You got to cultivate it to a contact. We didn't talk about this, but we need to. Facebook business page, I mentioned about it. You're not posting your family on your Facebook business page. You're posting interesting, relevant information, whether it's real estate, what's going on in the community. You're not taking pictures on your business Facebook page of you at the beach or you at the lake or you going to the baseball game. That's on your personal. Your Facebook business page, you want to post about business. And it not only necessarily have to be about real estate, it's engaging conversation. It could be that, what were they saying, Delta was #1 and Hartsfield was #1 in the meeting the other day? Put that on the business Facebook page. Don't put, we went to spring break at Disney World. That's your personal page. Talked about calling expires, open houses. So, please make sure y'all read through this. We have about 10 minutes. What questions on finding your business do you have for me? Any ahas from this? Anything you learned differently, new? Come on now.
What's the most important thing you do every day when you come in here aside from teaching this class? The first and most important thing that you do?
That I do when I get to there?
First business thing. I mean, you might go and make your coffee or do what have you, but like.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the point where somebody will make it for me, but that doesn't happen. I have because I try to prepare either the night before or that's part of my 3 when I get here of who I'm calling. And if I don't have it already written out, so everybody you see highlighted here, this is everybody that I've been working on for the last 10 days because I'm going so I have my list of call in my notes. So that's the first thing of what I'm doing.
So you do your 3 for the first 3 hours of your day?
Yes. I tell people, and what I had to learn was like what we were talking about earlier, keeping it short and setting up appointments to discuss more personal. So in the morning, I start calling usually about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And my goal is that I contact 20 people a day. That's 100 people a week, like they were talking about. So And I'm either setting I try to set one appointment, 2 appointments, my goal. Everybody has a goal. But I try to at least have one appointment, whether the appointment is to talk about real estate, to catch up, or whatever. So that's the first thing. I tell, for Tuesdays after meeting, like when I'm working with a client, I always say Tuesday afternoon around lunchtime is when I will call and give you a follow-up. But if I have a listing, I call on Tuesdays, and that's when I give my follow-up of who saw the house, who gave the house, anything that I hadn't talked to them about it, I said that's Tuesday. If I'm working with a client, obviously, if something comes on the market, I'm telling them, emailing them, or whatever. But Tuesdays, typically, I call and follow up, say, okay, we saw these houses over the weekend. You know, if they're not where we stand, you know, has things changed? You know, and then I prepare for the next time we're going to go out and show. So Tuesdays after team meetings, if there's not, like the other day they had a class, but that's typically, or I do, and I always try to do at least a caravan, because you don't know what you're going to meet. Like when we went Tuesday, and it turns out Denise is about to list another property around the corner that actually works out for a client that is looking for the needle and head stack. But had I not gone and told her, I said, this really won't work, this is what I'm looking for. She goes, oh, I'm getting ready to list it. They're putting the driveway in right now. She handed me the key and I went to look at it. So Tuesdays I try to go, and then after lunch that's when I do my follow-up. What other questions? I hope that answered.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks. I do what works for me. I did a master's. I sent out the master's. I do a Final Four. If you're into sports, there's a website called Run Your Own Pool, and it's, I think, 0 through 20 people is $23. 25 people, whatever. It's basically less than $1 a person. Okay, send it out to my entire database. So we did the Final Four. You know, everybody else picks the brackets. I sent the same thing out. First place was a $25 gift card. Second place was a $15 gift card. And we did one for last place for the pool. And I have coolers that say we sell ATL on them. Last place got the cooler. First place guy said, can I have a cooler? Sure. Okay. It cost, we had sent it to my database, the Sam's database, which is over 500 something people. We had 35 people do it. So I think our total cost is under 100. Was, you know, 35 was, I think it was like $23, $25 for the pool, $50, and then we already paid for the cooler. So that, I mean, but it was and they loved it. Person I totally forgot about, you know, we're talking about following up. I rented them a place 6 years ago. And he's on my database. I sent him, he's on the touch, long time. He picked up the phone and said, I'm so excited about this Masters tournament. All I did was send him an email. And we got to talk. We have an appointment on Friday. So if you're into sports, it's really easy and people do it. It's not costing anything. Everybody else has to pay to be in a pool, right? And also sit on there. I haven't figured out how to do it, but I'm trying to figure out this. I wanted to say, could I say on there, please send it to all your friends. What do I care? Because they have to give me their name, phone number, and email to be part of the pool. It's data that's collected. You set it up. So from our college football one that we did last year for the national championship, we did all the bowl games. We picked up 15 new people in our database that my eye doctor gave 3 of these people. And I called the eye doctor and I was like, David, who are these people? He said, well, one's my new tech who you haven't met. One's his roommate. Okay, so they're roommates. So what does that mean? Eventually they're going to buy. And he goes, the third one, he goes, I had a client in here and I was just talking about your tournament. He goes, I want to do it. Okay, so I've only talked to his tech, but the others are all in my database. You know, and this Run My Pool and all these are cheap. I mean, in perspective, it's cheap, and people like to do it because it's not costing them anything. We're doing a Kentucky Derby party. That's that list, and You can do what you want. I don't invite other real estate agents to my party. Sorry. We can be best friends. You're not coming to my party. Now, I'll send you a link to do the final four because I'm the only one that sees the email. But I don't bring other real estate agents. These are for my friends, sphere, and my past clients and my customers. You're a real estate agent. We could be. My wife has one of our best friends. Our kids grew up together. Sherry's like, "Are you inviting her?" I'm like, "Nope." She goes, "We got invited." I said, "Nope." Turned out it's graduation weekend, so I got out of it. But this is a party for me. It's not for me. It's for to make money. Yes.
So how many people do you have in your database? I'm just a rough estimate.
That I send out to quarterly?
No, just like in your entire database that you.
Well, I learned a trick that you can download all of your emails from LinkedIn. So everybody that is LinkedIn with you, you can pull out all their emails. There's a way to do it. I have to sit down and show it to you. So when I did that, and I will recommend what I learned from the thing is set up a separate email type. So I had like 1,500 just from LinkedIn. I don't know most of them. So my database is about 500 people that I email, and that's what I consider my database. It's 500. Well, now I've gotten another 1,500. Now some of those are in my database, but I put them all into my Google, and it was a nightmare. So don't really purge them before you just put them into EA and all that stuff. I don't know how many are on Facebook.
Okay, because
I mean they say you should have like 3,000, but I'm not there yet. I'm working on it. My goal is to add 10. I like to try to add 10 people a week because if you think about it, that means I'm adding 40 people a month.
So so what time do you usually like follow up with people? Because I'm in the phase now where on Monday I did it early in the morning and I got a couple of answers.
What are we following up on?
Well, no, just basically adding people to your database or calling to get information from them.
I start calling every morning. Whatever my list is the night before, I call in the morning.
You call in the morning,
except for Tuesdays.
Do you have a lot of people answer the phone? Because I feel like a lot of people work from 9 to 5. So.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
What time do you work from?
Whenever I want to work.
What time do you work from? This is a full-time job. What time do you work from?
Probably 9:30 to about 10 p.m.
All right, so you're working to 10 p.m. So if you're working from 9:30 and someone calls you, are you answering the phone?
Most likely.
Okay. Something I had to get over to. When I first got into business, when I first got into
Cube Farm or
right,
it just call center.
Well, I mean, you may get their voicemail. I mean, and a lot of people, I guarantee you, they see my name on that when it pulls up. What do? Well, can't answer right now.
Yeah.
But I called him. I went to the voicemail. I make a note. I follow up. And there's other answer phone. Just like if tomorrow if I call you at 10:30, you may answer the phone. You may not.
At night?
No, during the day. Now there's agents that do it. I don't call if around 6 o'clock. That's dinner time. 6 to 7 is dinner time to me. I wouldn't want someone calling me during dinner. But that's up to you. There's agents that do it. I don't call typically after 8 o'clock. And I'm usually trying to have my calls done in the morning.
Do you make calls on Saturdays?
Hopefully I'm showing property, but I have a bad habit of doing other things, so I'm going to say no, but I have done it. I'm of the mindset, everybody's different. There's agents that call Saturdays and Sundays. I'm of the mindset of I'm showing properties on Saturday, Sunday, I'm working. I don't want someone calling me to try to sell me something on a Saturday or Sunday, even though my kids are already at college, but if I had kids, but people call me all the time, and usually I hang up on them, or I say I'm not interested. But if it works for you, do it. If it works for you. As far as follow-up, I always, and this is something I learned from Bald, I always set a specific time as far as follow-up when I'm having a conversation. Tuesday, 2 o'clock. Thursday, whatever the time is, I'm only giving them two choices. Because then they either say yes at that time, or they say, I can't do it, can you do it at 3? Hold on, let me check my calendar. I know I can do it at 3, right? give a second. Make, hey, I can do 3 o'clock on Tuesday, I'm putting you in my calendar. So, in that type of follow-up, if I'm having a conversation, I always do a thing. If I'm inviting somebody for coffee, somebody asked me, how do you drive around? Well, what I do is, on Wednesdays, when I'm setting appointments, I try to set appointments and I sit at the same place. Let people come to me. So last Friday, I sat at Madeline from 7:45 to 11:30. And so I was talking to and I tell people, I say, look, we're meeting at 8. I do have someone that's coming at 9. If we're still going, I'll ask them to wait, but if not, we'll set up another appointment. And I don't do that if it's a sales call. This is a get to know me, catch you up, how can I help you call. It's not, let's, because if we're going to list their house, or if they're a buyer, buyer seller, I want the first appointment to be in the office. And this is the hardest thing as new agents. I will tell you this, and I've done it. Please do not put a client in your car until they're pre-qualified. I don't care if it's your best friend's mother, sister, brother, whoever. All you're going to do is waste your time. Sherry and certain people pre-qual them. There's other more. It's the most frustrating thing is they get excited, they see a house, then you call them up, they think their credit's 700, their credit's 520. What have you done?
Waste a lot of time.
And I've done it. Don't learn this to pass the class, learn a new business if I can teach you anything. And if they're not willing to spend this 15 minutes to be pre-qualified, are they really somebody's interested in buying real estate? No. I mean, the agent called Sherry on Saturday, and they're at a new construction site. It wasn't me, it was one of the KW agents, newer KW agents. He thought he had a great credit score, and he's about a year away before buying. They spent all afternoon looking, driving around. And people forget at our business that we don't make money unless they buy or sell, right? They don't think about your time. Make your time a priority. Make sure even if your best friend, he works for Coke, you don't know the underlying sale. If anything comes out of this, if this didn't make sense, and hopefully done that. Please fill out the evals. Any other questions? I'd be happy to answer any questions, any concerns. Again, if you want my card, I'll give it to you. My door is always open. If you need help, please call your friend and offer and say, look, this,
I'll find you out. I see her all the time. So
because now you're just building resource and trust and all that, and that's just she.
Well, she knows a lot of people, so she's going to be a good one to.
Right, but I mean that just puts you in a.
Yeah.
Even if she does sell it, even if she says, yeah, you can come out and look at it, but I don't need a CMA. Go out and look at it. It's good practice. You learn.
She said there might, and I will. She said it's a. I think it's land. I think she said it was land, not a house.
Okay.
And she said that they might already have a buyer, but. You know what? Just the fact that I didn't ask her, just the fact that she said you would be the first person I would call. And she knows I'm just now getting, that I just got my license, so that's a good start.
That's a great start.
I think I use OneNote, but sometimes
But definitely find out.
I use it online, and I'm
I'll
online
put this on
on my
here for
computer.
you because I want to shadow some agents that for open houses. Right now I'm doing an open house for Beckyville on Saturday. And we did, but I did the first one, she was going to be doing it. I'm going to do it perfectly in this area because I live over there.
I cannot open that on my computer. Sometimes I use it and
It's too much, but
my Facebook post.
Don't
when I
focus
started
on
working
taking
on
photos.
it.
Focus
Send
on
them my
days.
post
In other words,
especially since they said that they will.
you're gonna build it, they're gonna be building it. You're gonna build the little.
And then I'm called and I'm like, I don't know.
But you will. You will. You will. Okay.
Have you guys done a e-ed?
Most people aren't
Looked
gonna
at
go.
the 8x8s and all that stuff?
Find the website right off the bat, because you're not gonna spend the money. Don't focus on that. Focus on running it and building it.
So simple. I
Go to
actually
the
put
open
one
houses. Go
girl on that and
Go to Agent Caravan.
at one of my,
Portion on the.
I'm
Call-
really connected with a lot of my friends from school, college, stuff like that. I went friends to a lot of
right
events.
now.
So I went there,
And
met her, we was just sitting
I'll
there
help you,
talking.
Stacey will help you.
She told me she was leaving the house. She was
Right, but I'm
like,
saying,
to okay, like towards the end of the year.
That's the possibility.
And then
Now you're gonna come
I
from
think
a
I talked
position
to
of
Stacy.
helping.
Stacy told me about the 8x8s, and I also meet with Terry on Friday.
So one question that people say, well, you're a new agent, what do you know?
So yesterday, well, not yesterday.
No, you have a staff
I'm
behind
here
you.
to find something I
A staff
can
behind
get.
you. So you go there and say,
Basically,
look,
iPad.
it's like if you read it, you kind of read it,
have
you
you
motivate
done an
you.
appraisal?
So
You think
I put her
about
on the drip
it,
campaign.
so you know the price point.
I gave her my
I can do a
app.
free CNA for
She's
you,
been calling
sign
me
the
like,
appraisal.
hey,
And do
look
it.
at these houses,
So you
you
use one
know.
of
And
the
then she uses it.
Yeah.
Now she's just
No, I
always
think
gonna
that's
remember.
probably one of the best.
Well, okay, that's the thing.
I mean, there's going to be a few
You
things that are
tailor
probably
it.
the best tools.
You know, you
It's
can alter
easy to
words
try
and
to
change
find
stuff like that, but it's
something that just to
like I don't
connect
really
with
know
people, because I like
much
doing
about
that
real
anyway.
estate, so
Right,
whatever's
so
in
you're
there
asking
is
about
useless for me.
Yeah.
So I sent it to her, and she's
Okay.
Unless you have money, like I said, unless you have money to
this
spend
is
on
going
it.
on,
Use
so
what's free.
she's used my
And,
app inside the edge, but they use it.
Right, but I'm just saying, and do
Say,
it and do what's free.
and like certain things, and whatever she does,
But
I'll
anyway,
say,
if
you
you
click
know
on
of
the
any
name, you
agents,
get
you see there are a lot of them in here. that-
It's like
Yeah,
kind of
so
like reading her
if you
mind,
ask
like
for
she's
Lee,
talking to me,
if you,
like, oh, you know, this,
ask
that.
Stacy,
Well, that's
because she will, she'll know who does.
And then also the 8x8s, 'cause
Felicia will
the
put out
8x8s have
an email,
information
if you
on it
ask
from
her,
2015,
she'll blast it
so I'm
saying,
gonna give it to Terry tomorrow, see if I can, there's other
I'm
articles
looking
I
to
can
chat,
dip
you know.
into and put that stuff
Yeah, I just want to do a few. I did.
Stacy will know that that's,
That's
I don't
how it
have to
works.
pronounce it, so you can chat.
You'd be
with me on the
surprised,
phone
like, you
right
think
now.
people not gonna
Okay.
open, you know, they tell
Ask
you
that
they're not
question,
gonna open.
because
But
Yeah.
it clearly
look,
shows
every
you that
agent-
they open them, so.
Yeah.
Everybody would love somebody to sit there with them, because you can be extremely, because, and the thing is, you don't need this. I just want to shout at you, these are your clients. I'll help you with your accounts, I'll put the signs out, I'll, whatever. I just want to work.
Yeah, so.
And I also have
So you
another
guys
question for you. Is, now I'm going to get your picture too.
I actually wanted to get a card as well.
Your blue, by the way, that you're so sharp.
Here, you can have my card too.
Oh, no, we got yours. My Georgia agent, I like that. How was that available?
My lucky day.
That was, that's good.
I like that people
What
put
is
their
that?
pictures on the card.
Oh, I want to get your card too. Great session. Thank you. I loved a lot of
I
your
have a
ideas.
question and I don't know if it's at this.
Who's
May I
your-
have your card, please?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or if you run out of them, take a picture of it.
Well, my office is right.
Okay.
Yeah,
My office is in here. I keep an office in here.
yeah, I know.
Did everybody leave these? I guess in the back. hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's back there.
Yeah, anytime you have a question, and that's what I love about this office, and that I found is, as I
Everybody's
said,
full help.
everybody's very helpful. You can go in and ask any questions, and
Can I come to
everybody's.
your Kentucky Derby party? No, I'm
Nope.
just kidding. You
They
made
get
that
it.
perfectly clear.
Bye.
I do have a question
Sure.
that it's ethics, because I have a lot of ideas of what I do that's unique to me,
Mhm.
that I just want to get my name out there and get interest.
Right.
Now, one of them is because I come from a design remodeling background. When I did the last open house, you're going to get a lot of people walking in from the neighborhood that just want to see what's going on in the
Right.
neighborhood.
Bye,
They're
Eddie.
gonna sit there
Bye-bye.
and tell
Have
you
a
about
good
what they
weekend.
did.
Right.
And I didn't realize, my purpose is to get the people walking in the house that might be thinking of selling theirs in the
Right.
future. Well, a lot of them are just coming over because they want to see what's been done, because they might want to remodel their house.
Mhm.
I do consultations on the side, and I can do kitchen remodels. So if they're
Nope.
going, is that
Yeah.
cool to hand them? Is that okay to hand them
I
another
don't-
card, or is that
I don't see why not.
unethical, or
No, but I don't see why not. I'm going to tell you to run it by Stacy or Brad.
okay?
But there's another agent in here, and she's a designer,
Mm-hmm. That's right.
and
Yeah.
she I think on her card, Stacy will answer it right now. But that's not an unethical thing. I don't know if there's, Stacy, so the question is she's at an open house and someone comes in and says, oh, I love this kitchen. Can she can say, and not only am I a realtor, but I'm also a designer. That's not, is there any rule against that?
I mean,
I don't
Becky
think
was
so.
saying, was telling people, but then my thought is,
No, when you're at club, that is safe, but let me tell you what I did that's
okay,
not okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not doing something. Yeah.
You're at an open house and somebody else's open house. I mean, you're not the listing agent.
Correct. Yeah.
And a neighbor comes in and starts talking to you about possibly selling their home listing. I was like brand new, and I just talking to her, okay. And then later, the listing agent said, why didn't you bring her over to me? Because she was there. I wasn't doing the open house for her. I was just visiting. And I'm thinking, oh, I can talk to anybody. No.
That's what I was saying.
Well, see, that's what I don't understand. I'm confused on this because I thought that's why you do an open house, if they're there to buy
If
that
you're by
house.
yourself, but if you're shadowing, like
no,
if you're shadowing, or if you're
right.
visiting,
And that's-
or if you're visiting an open
I was
house.
shadowing at that.
That's what I meant.
okay.
If you're shadowing, if you go to an
Or
agent,
just
say,
going to see the property.
if you, like I said, if you go to an agent for an open house and say, I want to shadow you, that's their
Well, I
client.
just keep everything quiet.
Exactly,
Right,
and I
right.
didn't because
That's
I'm a
right.
talker.
So
and
am
people
I.
started talking to me.
So am I.
So, yeah, I got myself in trouble.
But you know, I did Becky's, and Becky was going, I said, Becky, now this person might be interested in this person, and she goes, well, no, that's yours. And I'm like, I didn't know that. I thought this is yours.
Uh-huh.
She said, I mean, it was okay. But, so my thought is, okay, maybe I'm going to do an open house for her. I think I'm doing all my own Saturday.
Daisy, it's still running.
Hold on one
It's
second.
still running.
Go ahead.
I can edit.
Okay. Because the other day someone turned it on, there was nothing going on. I got a notification.
Ah.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.
You did fine.
But I'm telling you, that Stacy, she's